D&D and Pathfinder supplement that brings Pokemon-style gameplay to your tabletop games is finally getting a massive update. Roll for Combat, the company that brought you Battlezoo Eldamon as well as countless other supplements for your tabletop role-playing games, has just announced Eldamon Legends, which is a fantastic Kickstarter that you can back now to bring all sorts of new Eldamon, elemental powers, and items to your worlds. If you're new here, Eldamon are elemental spirits that take on the form of creatures, which you and your party can make alliances and travel the world with. You can train them, evolve them into more powerful forms, and pit them in battles against other Eldamon. Or you yourself could become an elemental avatar and wield powers of darkness, or music, or fire. And the brand new Eldamon Legends Kickstarter brings you a bunch of new items that you and your party can equip, over 136 more Eldamon to populate your world with, and brand new legendary Eldamon to track down. Plus, the Kickstarter has all sorts of goodies available for its backers, including special dice, deluxe covers for the original Eldamon series, and more. So be sure to check out the Eldamon Legends Kickstarter today to begin harnessing the elements for yourself.
They should just replace it.
We are live.
Are being so...
Look at that.
Yeah. We're talking about GMing.
We're talking about GM baseball.
We're talking about GMing in baseball.
GMing in baseball. We're talking about when AI takes over baseball, just like when AI is going to take over role-playing games and everything else.
What I like about it is obviously it's a disruption, a minor disruption to the flow of the game. But what I like about it is that the manager doesn't, right? It's a player decision.
Yes.
And so it's quick, it's fast, and and it allows the player to have that kind of agency to be able to be like, no, fuck that. And it's really crazy too, is how much better the players know the strike zone, whether it's the catcher, the pitcher, the batter, than the ump.
Well, not really. They were talking about that because the umps only are behind the plate once every week. So how often do they see a game? Is once a week. The players play every single day and practice every single day. Like they know.
Why is that a not really, or is it not really surprising?
It's not surprising because the players know the strike zone way better than the umpires.
Right,
do.
They're seeing thousands of pitches every single week, right?
Yeah, they see.
I was told an anecdote about a player who called out the ump on a call for a strike twice in a row and was correct twice in a row, once on the inside, once on the outside.
No. With ABS, we've already had 5 in a row overturned. And there was one ump that was so bad, 20% of his calls were wrong recently. He's the worst ump in baseball. But that's
what's his name? BJ
now,
or whatever, BK or whatever.
Yeah, that guy.
It's funny to have an ump who had over 50% of the calls
no,
being
it
wrong.
wouldn't, because
it's just worse than flipping a coin.
No, because then they would. So they used to be really bad, and then when they brought in the lasers to actually, they have a thing where they give the umps basically a scorecard, and they're up to about 93%. So 93%, which sounds like a lot, which is good, but not really, because it's a game of inches. Like you can't really be 93% accurate. There's a lot of times they make mistakes, and the problem is the umps are like this guy. He got tilted and he just started to really call things wrong, like to the point that, is he doing it on purpose or is he just tilted, and like things were woefully incorrect. It's just
imagine an ump who got 95% of the calls wrong. They would actually be better to use than the average ump if you just told everyone just do the opposite of whatever.
They would be more accurate by just doing the opposite.
It would be more accurate than the 93.
Yeah, but you only get 2 calls. That's the problem. You can't. It's not infinite, so you have to. You can only.
No, it's
use,
infinite as long as you keep getting them right.
Yeah. You have to keep getting them right. So it's not. It's not. Oh, it's automatic. The way it works is.
Okay. Ready? What if we have an ABS system for RPGs, right? The GM just makes a call and we keep going, right? But if the player disagrees with the call, they can call for a game. They can call for an Archives of Nethets lookup.
Actually, Steven does that. He calls for me during his games.
I do that in all my games.
He's like, I'm calling for Mark Seifter and he's going to tell us what's going on.
That's called being a good GM, because all the time I will be like, they'll say, hey, I think you got this wrong or you did that. And I look and I say, this is how we do it. I say, okay, someone else look it up. I don't have time. So I'm like, you look it up, and then usually Jason's the one. He looks it up. And then we debate it, but we debate it like adults. There's no yelling, there's no screaming. It's just like, and I don't care anymore. Like if I get it wrong, I will retroactively
I never
fix
cared
it
anymore.
Yeah.
In fact, sometimes I'll be like, "We'll look it up," and it'll be like, like the player.
I'll always give them the benefit of the doubt. I'll give them more than they ask for.
I like your interpretation better, player.
Definitely.
Let's just go with that.
Yeah, definitely.
But kind of ancillary to that, one of my patrons had a request, and I said, you know what, let's do this as like a trial period, as like maybe a potential service. Is they recorded their session and they sent it to me, and I'm going to like review their performance as a game master.
Yikes. Oh, I like your review of me as a game master.
Yes.
Derik recently reviewed me.
Yes, only briefly.
Derik reviewed you.
Yes.
Did he like watch all the episodes?
No. He'll tell you what he did.
Okay.
No, I mean, I just pop in every Monday and I watch for 5, 10, 15 minutes, and I try to get a thing for it. Steven has a very I don't know how to describe it. It's a very maybe you could say how I describe it.
Well, because he tuned in when they were identifying magic items.
Yeah, and I was like, I don't think I've ever seen a human being, and I'm being a little facetious, but not really. I said, I've never really thought I've seen a human being actually use the identifying magic items rules. And not only was he using them, he was like leaning into them, like, ooh, which skill are you going to use to identify it? Better not be wrong. And they're like sitting here spending actual game time trying to figure out if they should use like occultism or religion. And they're like, well, given what we know about this item and given what we know about this person's capabilities as a spellcaster, I think we can safely conclude that we should use occultism. And Steve would be like, "You're right!" Like they just crit the enemy because they guessed correctly that they should use occultism.
That's actually kind of fun. Like my groups use the identifying items rules, but we don't have like the panache of Steven to like.
Oh yeah, he was like a game show host.
Of making
it was like Monty Hall. He's like, okay, you've chosen occultism, but let me open up Arcanist. Let me open up, let me open up Arcane, and let me open up, Nature. And okay, nothing behind those. Do you want to switch? Do you want to go? You want to go to religion?
The Monty Hall of identification.
Yeah, the Monty Hall of identification.
The player will just like be like, okay, so my identifying rolls were 22, 25, 19, 17, and 27. And Linda will be great. Okay, the potion was a potion of healing. The wand is a wand of whatever. The weapon is a +1 striking weapon, and you can't identify the other two. And then we'll move on. And it took like 30 seconds to a minute in total to do. But I kind of want to see Steven doing that now, because I thought when you first said it, there's no way that this comes out in a way that could be amusing with that much time spent on identifying items, but that sounds kind of fun. Surprisingly.
This will be a super nerdy joke. It's like behind one of these doors is a Qual's feather token swan. Behind the other ones, bag of tricks, gray.
Well, yeah. So you figured it out. Is that I am I'm the game show host.
Yeah, you're game show host. Yeah,
that's my GM. I'm a game show GM. I come in and I'm like very bombastic, and yeah, it's all like. But yeah,
Remember, because we were talking about Bill Murray from Ghostbusters, where she says, "You don't act like a scientist. You act like a game show host."
Yeah,
and I'm
exactly
like, that's
right.
you. Because also too, the other thing is, like, I know a lot of GMs have a style, which I don't actually agree with. I'm different than Steven, but a lot of GMs have this very like passive style where they'll be like, I am just the font of knowledge. I am a reaction, if the players want to sit there and dither and dwiddle, I will sit there for an hour. I will sit there for 2 hours, and I will let them spin their wheels. And I am only here to answer questions or to invoke.
It's kind of like the Powered by the Apocalypse taken to the extreme, where the players have to make a move. All that you can do is make a move in response to them.
Taken to an extreme. No, not Steven. Steven will like needle them. He'll be like, are you sure you want to do that? Like, he's just like,
is that your final answer?
Yeah, he's like, okay. You're going with religion? Are you sure you want to do? Like, it's all just like.
Hey man, there's an old saying. Was it excitement is contagious? So if you want to be excited,
okay. But that's the thing. that's crazy is like your players look like they're so more.
What?
Your player, like especially your one player, always just looks like he's just like there's just nothing. It's Stonewall.
Oh, well, Jason, Jason, actually, I spoke to him. I saw him this weekend. He was great in this week. So yesterday, he was 2 days ago. He was totally into it.
Yeah, I was flying home.
I gave the best, the funniest thing. Here's a total aside. This actually took up 5 minutes of our game time. Is that we had breakfast. I was in Pittsburgh on Sunday, and we had breakfast. And Jason is like, well, I'm like, what are you going to do after breakfast? He goes, well, I think I'm going to go IKEA. I'm like, oh, IKEA, you know. It's kind of far away. And I'm like, what do you need? He goes, oh, I need a hamper. You know, it's like, I need a hamper on wheels because, like, I live in an apartment and, you know, I want to get the stuff down there. And I'm like, okay. And then by the middle of the breakfast, he's like, well, maybe I'll go to Target. And then by the end of breakfast, he goes, I think I'm going to go home and have a nap. And we just had breakfast. And I'm like, dude, it's 9 o'clock. And I said, this is it. If you go to IKEA and you show me a picture of a hamper with wheels, you get 3 hero points tomorrow. Starting the game. Like, I'm using real world and he's like, and everyone's like at the table going, ooh. And then he's like, oh, man. So when we start the game, I was like, Jason, before we start, and he's got a big shitty green. I'm like, did you get the hamper with wheels? And he goes, no, but I went to Target and I got a regular hamper. So he took a picture, had to prove that he got the hamper.
That were two
hero points. So I'm like, all right, you don't get 3, but you get 2 for effort. But, you know, to be fair, I was talking to him about that. He gets up at 5 in the morning. And that's the thing. Yeah. I mean, and he goes to the gym. So he's actually just tired, you know, it's like that. And he works all day, you know. So that's the thing. Like, we used to start our games.
That actually makes sense. He's kind of looked tired to me some of the times on the show. While
all just talking shit on him.
No, Jason's probably watching.
But
no,
he's great. I'm just saying, we're all just like,
no, but he's tired. He gets up early.
No, but I feel like he seems like he's interested. But then when you look at his face, he does kind of look a little tired.
Yeah, I used to run a mega dungeon in Pathfinder 1, and it was kind of like our secondary campaign. Like Smith's campaign was the primary campaign. I would run mine every once in a while, but then eventually became the primary campaign. Anyways, I ran it like for like 2.5 years. And we had this one guy, great guy, but he worked at like, he was like an engineer, and he worked at an aerospace foundry. And, you know, he'd get up at like 6 or something, you know, as when the shift started, you know, because he worked kind of like, you know, factory hours, you know, like 6 to 3 or whatever. And so our game would start at 7, and by like 9:30 p.m., he'd be sitting there and he'd just be like, you know, nodding off. And we're like, Zach, you know, you tired? You want to go home, man? And he'd be like, no, I'm good. And we always felt bad because we're like, I didn't want to like kick him out of the campaign or anything like that because he was falling asleep. But I mean, this was in person, by the way. Yeah. But it's kind of like, what are you supposed to do in that situation? Like, the guy's clearly falling asleep, missing information, not really participating. Also, you feel bad for him, but also it's like, well, he wants to be here. So I don't know. I never had a good answer for that.
Well, we used to start our games. Oh man, we used to start at like 10 p.m. Then we started at 9 p.m. And then we always started at 8 recently. But now we've started our games at 7 p.m. because I mean, we keep going earlier and earlier. And we used to go from like, well, way back in the day, we used to go from like 10 to 1, and then we went from 9 to midnight, and then 8 to 11, and now we go from 7 to 10. You know, it's like just keeps getting earlier and earlier because everyone wants to do it earlier.
Well, back in the day, we used to go from like 6 p.m. to like 4 a.m.
Yeah, I'm talking about my regular.
That is its own thing.
Yeah,
I want to make sure, but is the dog barking getting noise canceled appropriately?
We don't hear.
I don't hear a dog. I don't hear a dog.
Excellent.
So you know, that's really it. And I did speak to him about it because I said, Jason, you okay? He goes, oh no, I'm just really tired. And I said, okay, you know, so
yeah.
Sorry, my allergies are killing me. So I'll be sneezing a lot. But anyhow, I saw a couple of questions and things before we even get going.
There were some comments too.
How many entries did we get for the Shadowdark? So the Shadowdark contest is closed. Hopefully you got it in on time, because at midnight that website went and it just shut down. I had no control over it. We got like 100, about 100 or so.
Oh, okay. Well, that's a lot fewer than the like crazy scenario where everybody who could submitted the maximum number of entries, which would have been like a lot. But that's really a
6,
good number. Yeah, that would have been 6,000. That would have been a DDoS on us if we had actually gotten the max amount. But 100 really gives a lot of options while also giving each contestant a good chance of
Don't forget
winning.
that's
if
split
they put
over
in their
3
best.
books, so it's more like 30
Yeah, I know. So there's 3
book.
winners out of the 100.
Yeah,
so
it'd be
you've
like
got especially if you submitted all 3 possible entries, you got a decent chance at this contest.
Yeah, well,
With 6,000, is like, who knows?
We'll start taking a look in a little while. I just got it all. I have it all sorted out. But
awesome.
So, and Derek's going to be a judge too, whether he wants to or not.
Yeah. In fact, Thursday so tomorrow on Night's Last Call, I'm going to have Evan.
That's right.
Mr.
You're
Evan Diaz.
Mr. Dungeon.
Yeah, I'm gonna have Evan, Mr. Evan Diaz on the show of Nimble, and he one of his stretch goals was to create Nimble dungeoneering rules, and apparently he has a first draft that he wants to beat up with me. So,
oh, that'll be fun.
We're gonna be doing that.
I enjoyed talking about game design with him on stream when you guys were at a con. It actually did pretty well for us for one of those cons.
No more cons.
For one of those con episodes where we have a topic that's like not about news. Yeah.
So today
we also had another comment that was actually on topic that said the Immortal release is great.
Yes.
Big thanks to Mark and the artists, Amor Makloufi, Von Milano, the editors, Sebastian Alef Greffier, Jordan Karotkin, Ryan King, and then me again, I guess.
Yeah,
they actually put a longer comment about it on Reddit that said, I absolutely adore all the entries at the start of every one of these products, joke or not. It really makes learning the world of Alcar and the archipelago of the Indigo Isles enjoyable and reference to me. This is genuinely such a unique idea. It's not derivative. It's not another option. It's something new. It's a different new way of continuing or telling a story. The 9 lives idea is really interesting, with the transcendence taking the character out of the game at the end and the fated number making it more possible with each one. This is why I love Battlezoo products. It's not too lost in trying to balance it. It has level-headed advice, references, nods, lore, but it's structured so you can see the logic of how you got there.
Wow.
And then as
somebody's a fan.
And as Derik keeps reminding me when we were at GaryCon, no one cares. Vibes. That's all people care about is vibes. Balance doesn't matter. Content doesn't matter.
We have enough balance even in our rules products while also bringing the vibes and being like, look, this isn't going to be perfectly balanced because it's a thing about Immortals. It's intended to boost you up, but here's how to handle for it. And here's how it sort of has its own like release valve on it. So it doesn't just become the game of you can't lose at anything, nothing that you do matters anymore, and you just keep going.
Up. So for people, let me explain. So for people that don't know, you can go right now to battlezoo.com. So every 4th of July, every April Fool's Day. What did I start? Is that we release a quote joke product that's really not a joke. And in this one, it started with me asking Mark literally on March 31st, how quickly can you write a dungeon ancestry? And like, as in, can you do it in like 5 hours? And he's like, sure. And then we literally threw it together.
It took more like 16, but
okay, like 16, but it was very quick. And then we threw together a dungeon ancestry where you could play a dungeon, and we posted it, and it was only for Pathfinder. And then people like lost their minds because it was playable. It is now, I think it might be the most played ancestry we've ever released from Battlezoo by far.
That's a good question. I don't know. It's definitely really, 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 really downloaded. So the question is, how many of those people play it?
I hear people play it all the time. Hell, we got a dungeon in my game. I mean, we
had a dungeon in my game.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I hear a lot of people actually play with dungeons. Like, that's how, and it's anecdotal, but it's
one of my favorite pitches when I'm selling classic creatures. I go to the dungeons.
And thanks to Dungeon Crawler Carl, everyone knows what Lit RPG is now, and everyone goes, oh Yeah, like lit RPG. And I'm like, I don't have to explain it anymore. A couple years ago, I had to explain that. I don't have to explain that.
Yeah,
anymore.
we'd get an occasional person who would say, "Oh, that's like lit RPG," and Steven his face would have light up
now it's
because it would be
everyone knows
like
what
the
it is.
one person who knows when we talk about it at a convention.
So anyhow,
I guess time to call Carl making it mainstream now.
Yeah. By the way, they just announced the game's going to be out at Gen Con. So it's like it's out. It's going to be done. So that thing is done. Anyhow.
So now we release something that is 3 times as long as the Dungeon Ancestry. However, thankfully for me, since the Dungeon Ancestry took 16 hours to do, it was not something we started on March 31st this time.
We started this months ago. So now when you go, you get the PDF for free for 5e and Pathfinder. You get a free Path Builder module, which was interesting, but we figured out a way to do it. You get a free tokens. You get a free animated tokens, and you get a free Foundry module for both 5e and Pathfinder. Everything is free, completely free. And every year we come up with something new.
April Fools, it's $50. No,
April Fools. Well, not only that, we have a sale today.
Free.
Wait,
I remember 10%. My favorite review for Demigods was just like someone who was just like, how can this be free? I do not understand why this is free.
Yeah, we did. So last year we did Demigods, and Demigods was very, very good because you got to play a demigod. A lot of people liked it because Mark wrote a very long section on religion, and people, I think, like the religion section more than the demigod section. So,
I mean, the religion section is a big part of it. I knew people were going to like that because people are always looking for some kind of way to like add a subsystem that alters your game.
So for this one, it's Immortals. And I was fooling around with, I mean, I did come to work with this a long time ago, maybe like a year ago.
He sure did.
Yeah.
It was pretty long time ago because
definitely over
he already had told me about Demigods and I had started it. And then even in that same year, he's like, do we have an April Fool's thing? Because I want to do Immortals. So I was like, well, we were doing Demigods. He's like, okay, next one then. And so I've been percolating on this for a while.
I've been interested in death systems recently, and I did also help come up with the 3 death system in Deathbringer that's coming up, where you can die 3 times.
That came out after, our discussions about Immortals. I think it may have been spurred by that.
It was. But I have been very much into coming up with new ways because no one has really come up. There's so many new systems, but death has always been kind of the same in these games. And the thing I see a lot of people do with death is like try to, quote, cheat to death. And by making it like there's death saves or more death saves or ways you could pop up or you have to agree to die. And I'm like, well, those are just variations of the same thing. No one's coming up with anything brand new. So my idea was, and Mark wrote it, I just came up with the concept of, oh, I see a mistake. All right, I'll fix that. Is that that you die. We don't change anything, but you become immortal. And you can now, when you die, you basically come back, but there's rules to how you come back. And you are Highlander immortal, as in, can you die again? Yes. Or you're like elven immortal, like in Lord of the Rings. Like, yeah, you're immortal to a point. I mean, you could still actually die. But
wait a second.
Well,
you can't be throwing out a Lord of the Rings reference.
If you do that, you're gonna draw in the Derik.
That's why I did it on purpose. I wanted to wake him up. I wanted to wake up. I wanted to wake up.
I was letting you speak about your system.
I was waking up the dragon.
You flat out cannot die unless you're killed by one of the very rare, obscure banes that can kill you. That the GM is probably not going to bring in because it's like a god of a concept opposing you. However, while you cannot die, we've often talked on this channel, and Derik, I think, has talked about it too, about how there can be interesting consequences in other styles of games, that you don't have to have a game that is necessarily focused entirely on death as the one thing. It's almost kind of boring. And so while you cannot die, you can become so alien to the mortal perspective that you are just no longer the you that you were at the beginning. And then basically you kind of become an NPC and do something else. Yeah.
Well, there are the Banes. And so the Banes, quote, can kill you. But I have been seeing a lot of people, and the cover is very much inspired by Highlander, by the way.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Yeah, it's totally Highlander. And the other thing is that a lot of people I saw on Reddit and others are saying, "Oh, I'm gonna use this, and I'm gonna make it that if you get your head chopped off, then you quote die." And I'm like, "Of course they are." Because
actually, the person who put that was really interesting because they did not believe this was a real product, just like back in Dungeon.
Yeah.
They were like, haha, April Fools. I know it's not a real thing, but you know what? I am going to do this. Something like this. I'm just going to have people cut off their head. It'd be the only way to kill them.
It's things like this that make me love Roll for Combat because, you know, I love what we call the serious troll, right? It's where in order to troll somebody, you end up doing more work than the other person. And you end up putting more care and time and dedication into the joke than you did that most people put into a real product, and that is Roll for Combat in a nutshell, right? Where it's like no, the whole product line from top to bottom. Look at Eldamon, you know, it's like, hey, it's Pokemon and D&D and it's cute little elemental creatures. Meanwhile, boom, here's a series of individual subsystems, the most like awesome, cool, tactically rewarding, rich strategic system ever. It's like anybody else would just be like, oh, it's the, you know, here's your blast power. Is it a fire
here's
blast?
Your vibe.
Is it a hydro blast? Is it an
Here's
earth
your
blast?
vibe.
No. Instead, it's like, yeah, it would be all vibes, Steven. It would all be vibes. It'd be like, what color is your blast? Is it red blast? Is it blue blast? Instead, it's like, no, here's a discrete and unique subsystem for each element that meaningfully changes the gameplay. And then this is the same exact thing, right? Where it's like, normally it'd be like, oh, you're immortal, oh, good joke. It's like, no, this is like a 20-page document with like detailed subsystems and multiple ancestries.
Oh yeah, it's different from 5e and Pathfinder.
It is. 5e is different too, but it helps that Steven and I both have that as sort of our personality when we do these kind of things.
Yes,
so
it's definitely an overlap between the two of you.
We cannot just stop at vibes and be like, look at these cute creatures. Yeah. They're all just shooting out a blast and the color is different. That is not where we go.
I say this meaningfully, like, you know, as someone who's been going to a lot of conventions, as Stephen was, by the way, referring to at the beginning of this thing. So many conventions. I for one, thankful.
I know
that I don't have any conventions for the near future.
I'm done. I'm done.
I'm not home for. I mean, you do have some trips coming up that I don't have, but and even Origins. Not, you know, I'm going to be gaming. You know, I'm not going to be.
Me too.
And but the one thing that I will say is that, you know, and I think this is what when we see dedicated Roll for Combat fans, you know, people who are like, you know, you know the type, Steven. They come up to the booth and we're kind of trying to pitch them, and they go, "Oh no, I already have everything." You know, like,
we get that a lot.
Yeah, we get that a lot, right?
I have everything. And like, oh,
yeah,
okay.
like there's very few people who own one thing, right? Like most people who own something own like many things. Maybe they don't own like something terrible like Leshy Dragons, but you know, like, but they do own they own everything else.
Hey. I deserve that.
Leshy Dragon sold. It's sold. Okay.
Yeah, you're making fun of Leshy. We sold Leshy.
You're making fun of Jess and her Leshy Dragon.
Yes, I was trying to make fun
not
of.
here.
I was trying to do a double whammy and make fun of Jess and Linda at the same time.
But, oh my God! Wow. What does Linda deserve that for?
Yeah, nothing. Linda's a sweetheart and a genius, but you know she did create Leshies, so I have to.
And she just made Starfinder Leshies that came out, which caused people.
Oh no!
Wait, back it up. I'm more okay with Leshies than Starfinder.
Oh God!
What do you think about Raxolites, which she also made? Those are the ones that are like the spore people that ships that combine themselves together like
too
spores.
Weird. That's way too weird.
Sounds like a dog slime mold, but or dog vomit mold, but
I like them in principle, but I would never play one.
They use giant acronyms for everything.
Yeah, I saw that. No, I would never play one. I respect it, but I would never play one.
Well. But what I was trying to say is that that you know, having gone to a lot of conventions, and this is a conversation that Stephen and I have had, I have felt, and this is not I'm not casting, you know, I'm not trying to you know, shit on anybody, but like there's a lot of really successful games out there that I think are more like, you know, vibes first, you know, and the crunch. not really there. Maybe it's a crispy exterior, soggy interior. And the thing I think that really attracts people to Roll for Combat is that you guys don't you guys don't just stop at like, oh, we have cool art and like really neat, cool aesthetic and like a really neat idea. And, here's this whole like, no, it's like, nope, no. It's not just appearances. It's not just aesthetics. Like there are meaningfully deep mechanics here that, obviously require a lot of work and time and page count and all that other stuff. But I think that when people are attracted to that, they really are attracted to that, because I think that is something that, and you know why? Because it turns out creating good rules is hard. It's like, so like, I think a lot of people go, well, like I could make rules, but then they might not work. So I'll just, sell you on the vibes and just go fruitful void. You figure it out. So I don't know if Mark heard that, but that was going to be, I obviously didn't do it because I'm, me, but I was going to make my own April Fool's release.
Oh yeah, I heard that you're going to make one called Fruitful Void.
Yeah,
I think
Fruitful
we were
Void.
talking about it.
We talked about it
RPG.
forever. Yeah, next year.
Where it's just kind of blank and you fill it in with whatever you want.
It's just whatever you want.
I will say I am so thrilled. Not only so the month of travel is over. This, by the way, is a bad April Fool's release is actually kind of a nightmare because
April Fool's is our crunch time because
It's
we
horrible.
have both the April Ancestry, which is House Spirits, which was also written by Linda. And I'm sure Derek hates it because they're
house
like
spirits, little brownies, little gnomes, and little spirits.
Domovoy and all those little house
that go
spirits.
around your house and do little chores for you, and
Yep.
while you're sleeping, you could play one of those now, Derek.
We have those that came out. We had the April Fool's Ancestry. We have a Kickstarter, and Steven had a trip. So it was a lot.
Well, yeah, because the problem is 4 books come out on April 1st, and the free with fucking free RPG, the free thing costs more than it takes more time than the paid stuff because it is a ton of work.
It's bigger. It's long. It's
so
12,000
much
words
harder.
long. That's
It's
very
so much
long.
harder. It's so hard.
And it required thinking about the layout because it's a new kind of thing instead of another of a kind of thing that we've done before.
Will Immortals thing come to a physical medium by chance? Probably, because what we end up doing
Likely, yeah.
is that I will put Immortals into the Year of Mysteries, which will fit nicely because that is a mystery. That is a very nice one.
It is, and because of the fact that you can play a Enigmite, which are already like becoming partially Enigma, and if you play that with the Eldritch Horror path of Immortal, where you're kind of like the Eldritch Horror is basically like a skin suit mortal that is like almost stopping the Eldritch Horror inside from escaping and destroying everything, but they also kind of are the Eldritch Horror too, but in a way that can relate to reality. So it's like there have been weirdly things like that in fiction before, like Illyria from Angel is kind of an Eldritch Horror that's also a person, and there's other things like that too. So you could do that with Enigmites. It's a very good fit.
So that will probably go in there. And someone said they saw a typo in Immortals where can I ask for a refund? You can get your $0 back whenever you want. If there is a typo or something, let me know.
It reminds me of someone who gave a review for Demigods that was just like, I don't know, like the art on the tokens wasn't as good as some of the other things. And I was thinking like, man, like, they gave like a negative review about that, and it's like you got this whole thing for free. It had all these tokens and digital assets and other things like that. That's the one thing.
Welcome to my life. Welcome to my life. Everyone's complaining. That's why
it's fine. It's kind of normal. It's kind of normal. I was actually recently talking to someone else who writes like for a small third-party thing, and all of their fans are just so positive that they only get 5 stars on everything. And so they got a 4-star after like months on a product that had a lot of 5 stars. And they were like, I can't believe we got a 4-star on something. This is terrible. How could we get this? And I was like, man, we get 4 stars like Eventually, when you get into the mainstream, people are going to do it for just like any reason. Or 3 stars.
That's the problem.
I've seen a review that was for a Paizo product that was for like a organized play scenario that was just like, this is excellent. It's one of the best scenarios I've ever played. I can't think of any way to improve it. And it was 3 stars.
Well, there's a big thing about that in the video game world, is that things are either a 7, 8, or 9, or 10, and that's it. If it's a 7 is considered your average game, 8 is considered really good, 9 is considered like absolutely beyond fantastic, and 10s are luckily just reserved for like god tier games, like the absolute
something
best
that just
of the
has
best.
changed the entire
like Grand Theft
state of
Auto 5
everything,
or
and they're
something.
gonna inspire
it's very
a million
rare.
Imitators. So probably something like Slay the Spire. It's like, now look how many people are doing that.
Even that'd only be 8 or 9, at most 9, because the artwork sucks. So,
I mean, the artwork is not
sucks.
the greatest.
Well, that's part
Steven,
of it.
I'm a game designer, and for me, I would put a 10 on anything that inspired an entire giant genre full of imitators.
Yeah, but that's not how.
At that point, it did.
But at the time, you reviewed it before any of them came out, and you review it in its own silo.
Oh, you're saying so like a professional critic?
Yeah, I'm talking about professional. So anyhow,
okay.
My favorite thing is there's one game reviewer is what's his name? Stephanie Sterling, and he's famous for when the last Zelda game came out for the Wii, which was Tears of the Kingdom, the other one, the first one. That thing was getting 10s out of 10s. Breath of the Wild was getting 10 out of 10s everywhere. 10 out of 10, 10 out of 10, 10 out of 10. Everything was 10 out of 10. And he gave it a 7 out of 10. And actually messed up the Metacritic review and made it go from the highest ranked game to like 3rd or 4th because of his review. And people went absolutely apeshit because he was the only person who gave it like below. I thought nobody even gave it like more. Like it was like everyone gave it a 10. Some people gave it a 9. There was a sprinkling of 8s in there. He gave it a 7, and he got so much shit for it. So in all of his game, he does a weekly show every week. Every Monday, he comes out with a video. He's never missed one for years. And he, at the end of, no matter what the game is, how good or bad it is, he's like, blah, 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 7 out of 10. So everything is 7 out of 10. Doesn't matter. And
well, it's like,
wait, does he just give it everything 7 out of 10?
It's a joke. It's a joke now. It becomes his mantra. He's like, this is the greatest game I've ever played in my life. I totally love it. I strongly recommend every single person go out and buy it. 7 out of 10. He's trolling himself at this point. He doesn't give out quote real reviews. His reviews are long though. He'll do like a 20-minute review, and where he stands. It's like you got to be in the joke. You know what I mean? Like, but it is funny that he just does that constantly now. Anyhow, but that's the thing. It's like, if you get, I get all the reviews. So if someone gives it a 5, I'm like, yeah. If someone gives it a 4, I read it. Someone gave us like a 1 or a 2, but it was because they had problems with their computer. And I'm like, okay, I literally just delete those because, I write them back. That's the other thing. I do the Derek Melinda move of like, when people do something bad or say something bad, I write them back. And then they're like, oh no, you weren't supposed to like see that. You weren't supposed to like write me back and call me out on that. I thought I was just yelling into the void. It's like, right. Oh no, buddy.
One of my go-tos is I go, you obviously have a very strong opinion. I would love to have you on the show. You want to come on the show live with me and discuss the position that you hold? I'm happy to engage with you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, then you go away.
Yeah.
Evan, I don't know if you're still here. We are almost certainly going to PAX U.
So Evan, we have a booth at PAX U. So
yeah, that's what I thought.
100%.
That is great. I am happy to go there. It was good. It's close.
It's a
to
much
where
better
I am.
time because it's
a nice place. There's
God.
that market with really good options that is right near there.
Yeah.
And it was a great con last time. I hope to see you there, Evan.
Yeah, we're definitely going. Derek gets to come by, stay at my house.
I'm going to Origins as a convention organizer.
I'm going to go to Origins. I'm planning on going to Origins, and this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to Origins. I'm going to go to the Knights of Last Call room. I'm going to play games.
There you go, buddy.
All 4 days.
Oh, I told, by the way,
That's
I told
all I'm
Evan.
doing. I'm playing
I told
games.
Evan, you can see in chat, I told Evan about the $1 million club. And so he said, he said, Derik said dinner's on me. And I said, yep, that's the rule. That's the rule.
I paid for dinner last year and I did not get in the $1 million club. So
yeah, well, in aggregate though.
Yes, okay, fine. Sure.
Yeah. For those of you who don't know, Knights of Last Call, aka my channel, I am sponsoring I'm sponsoring Origins, and I'm getting a VIP lounge. Actually, we were discussing names about it, and people talk like the Keep, the Fortress. But I was just in Vegas, and I went to 2 Golden Knights games. That's their NHL team, and I said, "Oh my God, how did I ever think of this?" They have a lounge there called the Nightclub.
No,
and I was like,
way.
"Oh, that is so good." I go, I may have to steal that.
Nightclub, as in, because everything in Vegas is a nightclub.
Right, exactly. So this is the Nightclub.
Nightclub. Oh God.
So yes, Knight Club. Anyways, I'm going to have my own room for my channel. And we're going to be running games. It's off the book, unofficial. It's only going to be organized through our Patreon and stuff like that. So anyways, thing is, we've gone to a lot of conventions, Steven and I and Mark, but we very rarely ever get to play because, we're busy, we're wheeling and dealing. Even during the show hours, we're obviously working the booth. After the show hours, it's try to eat, try to make connections, maybe try to get some sleep and some rest. So I'm really looking forward to doing that. That being said, I'm going to Origins. And then I'm like 50-50. I have a Gen Con badge, but I'm like 50-50 if I even want to go. And then honestly, my next convention after that might be PAX Unplugged. So
that's going to be mine too. I have the same exact schedule as you.
Yeah. And then things do get a little busy though, because like I guess I'm going to Page now.
Yes, you are going to Page. We have a booth at Page, but Page is really fun. And it's so relaxed. It's so relaxed.
You've been conscripted to Page, Derik.
Well, yes, I think you're going to like it because it's such a simple and easy convention.
I spent so much time talking with his name escapes me, but the Page guy.
Oh, not Luke. I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
The Page guy. The Page guy. Just call him that.
The Page guy. But he was at Gary Con, and I got a chance to talk with him and and meet with him and all this other stuff, and it was really, really cool. I don't think it's Ron, it's the other guy, but
not Ron.
Anyways, the X Factor is potentially Gamehole Con. That everyone's saying I should go to that one, but
everyone's telling me to go too, and I don't have a booth. I thought I did, but they made a mistake. The emails.
The problem is, after going to Gary Con, Gamehole Con is in Madison.
I know.
Which is basically
pain in the ass.
Which is basically Lake Geneva.
Yeah.
And it was such a pain in the ass to get to.
It's such a pain in the ass.
It was such a pain in the ass to get to.
Yeah, that sucked. Everyone says it's a good con. Well, we'll see.
I know.
So someone said, can you all make an adventure for Indigo Isles and release the Kraken? I don't know, maybe. I would like to run it. I'll tell you what I do want to run. I do want me and Derik and 2 other very, very lucky people to play Ark and play the Blighted Reach campaign, which is
that is happening.
All right, good. I have a story for you about. I have a story for you, Derik. So last night, so every Tuesday night, I go to my gaming session, and it starts at 7. And I'm like, all right, let me go get my dinner, and I order Chopped at 6 o'clock, and I show up, and normally they get my food ready in like 5 minutes, and I show up, and it's like 15 minutes. I'm like, where's my food? It's 6:15. I got to get going. It's half an hour to the store. And they're like, oh, I'm like, did you guys do it yet? So I was like, what's your name? Steve. And they're like, oh, okay. And they're looking, they can't find it. And I'm like, ugh. And then they eventually, okay, we're making it now. They make it. And they go, here you go, Steve W. And I'm like, I'm Steve G. And they're like, oh. And I'm like, great. So then it took 45 minutes for them to make my damn food, which again, it's supposed to take 5 minutes. I run to the place. I get there at 7:20. I walk in. I knew it was going to be bad because then the people who run it know me, and I bring games that I help run. I basically help run it at this point because, I bring games that I know how to teach. So literally they look at me and they're like, oh, Steve's here. he'll take care of you guys. I'm going to go play Carnegie. See ya. And I'm like, what? And I knew I was like, ah, damn it, I'm late. I got the dregs. I got the people. And sure enough, I got new people and people who really didn't know how things worked. And they were, let's just say, they were not necessarily great gamers. And so what do? And then they're like, oh, let's play Arcs. Right, Derik? So we're playing Arcs. We're trying to play Arcs. I'm trying to explain to them. But one person was interrupting every second I tried to say something. They would ask a question. And I'd be like, just let me get through the damn explanation. It took like an hour to explain it because they just kept asking questions. This person would not stop talking. So we finally play it. And let me tell you, this person would have a hand of cards. So you get 6 cards. It's basically, it's a trick-taking game, basically, or trumping game. That's it. That's the whole game. They looked at their cards. I swear to God, they took 5 minutes. I mean, I'm not saying like a 2-minute, 5 minutes. We're talking like, oh, what should I do? What should I do? What should I do? What should I do?
The initial, because the thing about Arcs and any trick-taking game, honestly, is obviously the very first round of the turn. You have 6 cards in your hand, a lot of decisions to make. However, in theory, each progressive time gets shorter and shorter and shorter because you're running out of cards, so you only have 2 choices or 3 choices.
It's the first turn. Don't overthink it. So we're playing. It's taking forever, and then we go through the first chapter. And once again, this guy came around and he beat the crap out of me. But then I very secretly, then at the very end of the round, and then someone played a card where we all got the psionics. We were all banned from psionics or whatever. What's that called? Outraged. And so we all lost it. And then I was like, all right, well, I still managed to get some psionics through some sneakiness. So, and then I made it so you get points on it. I declared it. And then I'm like, as an ambition. So I, of course, secretly got all these points and no one else did. And then after we played for after an hour of explaining the rules, an hour of playing the first fucking chapter, the person who did all this said, you know what? I don't like this game. I don't want to play anymore. And we're like, what? It's like, that's not how this works. Like, you come here, you got to pay. It's like, no, it's kind of an unwritten rule that if you're going to sit down and play a game, even if you don't like it, you just finish it.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, yeah, but I don't want to. And this person's there. I was like, yeah, but it's like, there's 3 of us here. There's a 4-person game. Like, we just spent 2 hours and there's only an hour left before the thing's over. And they're like, yeah, but I don't like it. I just don't like it. It's not my type of game. And I'm like, oh.
Yeah, that's not.
And so I was like,
not very nice.
I know. So I was like, fine.
Well, that is why, number 1, obviously we have our NightCon sign-up sheet. So we'll have it set up in advance so that we know who's playing. Number 2, people will be expected to learn the game before they play it. Mm-hmm. And number 3, more than likely, if I get 2 people to join, I will run a game of Arcs on TTS with them so that they've at least played through the core game completely once before they play the Blighted Reach, because I still haven't played the goddamn Blighted Reach, which is the way that which is the way Cole Worley intended it to be played. And now
he has an expansion to the expansion.
There's an expansion to the Blighted Reach that's already at $1 million+.
So yeah, just bring your Blighted Reach. I would definitely want to play it.
I'm bringing a whole.
You're bringing a whole library. I'll bring some stuff too. But yeah, I literally am going to go and just play games. That's all I'm going to do.
Yeah,
I don't want to do anything else. I got to double check I can go because I'm going on a trip before that, so I literally would have to.
Well, I thought we looked at the time. I thought it worked out for you.
It's okay. It's okay. Well, that week's a little crazy. It's my niece's bridal shower that week. It's my mom's birthday, and she's flying into Manhattan to celebrate her birthday. And we just come back from a very long vacation. That's going to be very tiring. So it's going to be a lot. And then I got to basically spend a week working and then go to Origins immediately after and just play games. Very tiring to do all that. So
hopefully Origins will help you recharge. So someone had a question about Immortals. They said that they were wondering if there's any way that the token ring could be added to the tokens so that they could make, to make their own tokens for Immortals.
Oh, sure. Yeah. That's easy.
Yeah. I told them that I would ask. It was actually on the Reddit and not in the.
I got to update it anyhow. I actually found a mistake. So Immortals. Let me make a note. Immortals ad ring. Yep.
Yeah.
Got it.
There you go. And
I'll do that
so
later.
they will be happy. They said that they really, really liked it and they love the art.
Someone here is running Kraken on their own before hopping into Jewel. Really enjoyed it. It's not a one shot, however. I even found that 12 hours suggested was a quite bit under once I added in all the lore. Well, yeah,
I found that the people
not
who
a
did
one shot.
if you do all the optionals and all the lore, it can take up to like 20 hours.
Oh yeah,
but if you don't, your group doesn't engage a lot with the lore and doesn't do the optionals, 12 is probably more accurate. I'm close to the part of Jewel of the Indigo Isles where we suggest adding in Release the Kraken, and I plan to do so.
Oh, you're gonna do it?
I'll let people know.
I might do it too. They're almost completely finished with the third level. They just got to I can't talk about it, but man, did they get to a really funny part is because they went outside. There's a poetry contest, and he did the poetry contest. He rolled. You let him use religion in the poetry contest, and he rolled pretty well, but he didn't roll well enough. You got to do really, really well. And the first round, he got like a 16, and the contestant, he was in the poetry contest, was not thrilled. And then he did another roll, 20, natural 20, and I was like, no, you're like Joe. And that, if you watch it, you could see me doing this because I had her jumping around and like rapping and doing a whole thing of poetry, and then he's like, okay, I'm gonna copy her and do everything she does and everything, and then rolls a natural 20, and I'm like, look, you did it. That's 2 successes. You beat her. And then things went to shit after that.
Oh man,
very quickly, because there's things that happened in that contest, and that's
a fun one.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's why I know they like it, because they're just like, what the hell? And now they know me, and they know my sense of humor, and they even know how we run things, because they're like, oh my god, there's a ghost, and she's gonna kill us, and she's like, yeah, poetry contest. They're like, what? Yeah, that's Steve. That's about right. A poetry. It's like, of course he does something weird. Like, of course there's weird stuff.
It's Steven Glicker. What? You've got to expect that by now. They've known you for how many decades?
Yes. Well,
yeah, it reminds me of
zig when they zag, man. Because everyone expects the same shit.
Yeah, it reminds me of years ago we were running a Mutants and Masterminds campaign. It was like set in like space, and one of the characters was like a Batman ripoff, but with a wolf theme, and his name was Shadow Fang. Anyways, his mortal enemy was Laser Wolf, which was a play on this really bad sci-fi movie called Laser Mission. Anyways, so there's like this like big confrontation.
Laser Wolf. It wasn't the intended groom from Fiddler on the Roof.
Fiddler on the Roof.
No. And then there was like a final scene where like the villain goes like, basically like, how are we going to settle this? And then one of my players goes, how about a game of basketball? And they're like, okay. And then like the entire adventure just like completely took a hard left turn and basically turned into Space Jam. And we went with that. Space Jam X, the Prince Charlie Murphy skit from the Chappelle Show.
That is the best skit in history. Pancakes?
Right. Oh yeah. So, there was a thing like they're like they were like, we're gonna call this the shirts against the capes, because they were all superheroes and stuff.
That's what makes role play games. You know what? Guardians of the Galaxy, I could give them props at the end.
Yeah, the dance off, bro.
Yeah, it was like a rap battle by the end, and they're like, "What?" And he's like, "What's going on?" I'm like, that is totally a D&D campaign right there, because I'm like, yeah, that's exactly what happens in D&D. It's like, what are you doing? He's like, I'm distracting you.
So I read that 7 out of 10 review for Breath of the Wild. Now that you mentioned it, Steven, and I'm glad to have read it, because there's someone else out there. I don't have the exact same views as him, but
I hate to say it,
has an overlap on, and I just don't see how nobody else sees these things.
Jim Sterling was 100% right in the 7 out of 10, because they do a thing in Breath of the Wild which drives me fucking insane.
Let me guess, before you even go for it.
Yeah.
Because the number one thing that everyone complains about.
Yes.
Now, I never played Breath of the Wild, okay? Because I don't play video games.
Yes.
But before you even proceed,
yes,
I'm going to guess what it was.
What it was.
Okay, because it's the same thing that everybody in my Patreon complains about, and I think it's great. weapon breakage.
Yes.
That's the thing that Jim Sterling spent more time on that I don't agree with him.
I think it's cool.
I don't think the weapon. Okay, the
I'll
weapon
tell you
breakage could be
why.
annoying,
Whoa,
but
whoa,
I don't
whoa,
think
whoa.
it's that bad.
Let me
The
back
second
up.
thing he talked about, the stamina wheel, frigging climbing a thing, and then it rains, and then you don't climb it, and then by the time you get to the top of it, I spent at one point like over 30 minutes just climbing a wall. And guess what was at the top of that wall? If you play Breath of the Wild, you may know what the statistically most likely answer to that is. The answer was nothing.
No,
Nothing.
No. You got the satisfaction of climbing it and a beautiful view.
Yeah, that's right.
Wasn't
that's right.
even a good view.
It's not even that great view. Well, no. Okay. Here's the thing with the weapon breakage. See, now they even admitted without admitting it because in Tears of the Kingdom, they fixed it. I don't mind weapon breakage. The thing is, the weapons broke after like 5 to 8 uses.
Good.
Well, in Tears of the Kingdom, they made it last a little longer. And it's like, it was just they needed to tweak it. That's all they really needed to do is tweak it. I actually don't mind the weapon breakage that in Tears of the Kingdom, I thought it was fine. And now for
I don't mind the weapons. It just didn't respect my time with my play style. And I understand how other people felt that it did. I do think it was a great game. It was just not for me.
Yeah, it's
and when
very
I realized
padded.
how much of my time I had spent and accomplished very little
exactly
that I was proud or happy about, I was like, I can't keep playing this game. I'm going to spend like 600 hours on it for like 20 hours of fun.
Yeah, there's a lot
but that's
of
me. That's
weird
me.
stuff
Other
in that
people
game.
probably wouldn't have spent 600 hours trying to get the things that I was trying to get.
I feel like
Maybe
you
they're
just
better
described a
than
lot
that.
of modern video games, Mark.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. You absolutely are 100% right. Yeah, no, the weapon durability. Yeah, it was too.
Well, so the thing with weapon
weapon
durability comes back to like a core tenet of me when like role playing games, which is, and I've said this many times, which is one of the things I loved about old school D&D is like as a fighter, right? The benefit of being a fighter was you can use any weapon. And so the idea of like the fighter in classic D&D is you're going through the dungeon and you start with like, a long sword and then, you're the long sword fighter, right? No, there's nothing special about you using a long sword. It's just the weapon that you happen to have. And the long sword tends to be a pretty good weapon in D&D. And then you're fighting and then suddenly you find a +2 trident of fish command. Well, guess what? You're now a trident fighter because you throw the sword away and you're like, this is a better weapon. And you're just stabbing people with a trident until you find a +3 chain whip. And then you're like, cool, this is what I'm going to use now.
Yeah, but let me give you...
the modern mentality now is like, nope, this is my weapon. I have 300 feats invested in this weapon. I've got my style invested in this weapon. I've got my aesthetic invested in this weapon. That's my weapon. And I'm just going to upgrade that one weapon. And I'm never going to do anything different. And if the GM drops the hammer of the gods, if he gives me Mjolnir, I'm going to be like, well, it's a hammer. I don't use hammers. I'm selling it.
That was a huge issue in Pathfinder 1 and 3.5. I tried to walk us back as much as I could without completely negating certain things that people wanted from the previous games in Pathfinder 2. I feel that I've succeeded. A lot of classes, not fighter, but a lot of classes, I've seen characters who are perfectly willing to swap to a different weapon when it drops, and it's awesome.
I mean, to be clear, Mark, you're 100% correct in that 99% of people that I've met prefer, say, the rune system and the upgrade system of Pathfinder 2 to, let's say, the system of Pathfinder 1/3rd edition. I'm just saying, me, Derek, personally, I prefer it when weapons are like discrete. I don't like that everything can just be upgradable and everything's a materia slot and you can just, pop in stuff.
By making them upgradable, it allowed for transferability and switching around and using different weapons a little more easily. But it was all tied into something.
Yeah. And to be also very clear, this is more of a 3.5 problem. I don't know if it was a Pathfinder 1 problem, but 3.5 had the golf bag problem, right? Where because of the way that damage reduction worked, it was based on materials. So like you needed like a silver weapon, an adamantine weapon, a blah blah weapon.
Pathfinder 1 had that as well.
Okay. Yeah.
But it had a way around it, which was that if you got a pure plus on your weapon, eventually it counted as a bunch of things. So it had a way that ameliorated it.
Yeah.
And I think it worked fairly well at ameliorating that particular concern.
So here's the problem with Breath of the Wild. So it's being built on established lore. So in Breath of the Wild and all the Zelda games, there is the
I'm still here. I'm just
there is the what's the name of the sword?
The Master
the Master Sword. And that's considered like the ultimate weapon in the game. And you go and you get it, and then it's like, well, you can get the Master Sword and you can use it until it breaks, and then it's gone forever. So it's like, why? Like, what? Like even the Master Sword just breaks. Like everything breaks. Everything's destroyed in the game. And okay,
Hey,
I'm going to disagree.
Hey man, Narsil was forged by Telkar in the first stage, and it was the sign of the heirloom of Numenor, and it was the sword of the king of the reunited kingdoms of Arnor and Gondor. It broke.
You're 100% right. Now, here's also the difference between you're saying D&D. Okay, you're changing the sword. Fine, I don't care about that. You go from a sword to a hammer to a flail to whatever. But this is a video game where you literally have to use it, and there's different speeds, there's different reaches, there's different damages, there's different timing, different muscle memory. That's like saying, oh,
good.
Every time you play tennis, here's a different racket. Or
good.
Every time you play golf, here's a different golf club, and they're all completely different.
Love it.
Fuck you. I'm going to make you do that when you go play racquetball. I'm going to make you play racquetball today with the tennis racket and see how you like it.
I'm increasing my range and my versatility.
Okay, I want to see that. Okay, I will give you 3 hero points if you go play racquetball today with the tennis racket.
I don't play Pathfinder 2 currently. Your hero points are
wait, don't do it with just a tennis racket. What you have to do is every 4 or 5 swings, your racket breaks, and you get a tennis racket, then you get like a badminton racket. And you get
fair. If I'm upset, it's pretty close to that.
Fair enough.
The other thing, by the way, I think is that weapon break, because again, they now listen, they might be motivating something. Okay, I don't try to judge games based on whether or not the thing that they're trying to motivate is something that I agree with or not. Now, in this case, I happen to agree with it, but I think part of the problem is somebody goes, "Oh, that's a terrible mechanic," and I go, "No. It's a great mechanic for encouraging a play style that you don't like." And in that particular case, I think it encourages you not to get in fights. I think it encourages you to be very judicious with your fighting. It's like playing a gun game where you only have eight bullets. And everyone goes, "No, I just want to kill things." And I go, okay, well, this is not about that. This is a game of exploration. This is a game of being clever. This is a game of attack and kill,
That's why I didn't mind the weapon breaking as much. It was all about the stamina and just the amount of time it took to get to places and to do the things.
I give up. Anyhow, the one I'm playing now, I'm playing The King is Watching. You would like that game, Mark.
The King is Watching.
$20.
That sounds like an interesting name.
$20 game. It is so good. I've been playing that in my spare time. Not that I have a lot.
No more cats.
No, I still have eugenics. Part of eugenics is I'm like 120 hours in and I'm like 48% done. And I'm like, Jesus, this game is going to take forever. King is Watching, which is it's basically you build a town and the town will only work on what you look at. You have to look at whatever you want to be working. So, and you have to defend the town from waves of enemies. So it's basically like you build the town and you upgrade it, but you can only see a very small portion of town. So you just have to change your gaze of what you're looking at to change what's being worked on. So that's a fun game. But the one I'm really having fun with is Modulus Factory Automation, which comes out tomorrow. And it is one of those Factorio games where you're literally just building buildings to make shit, and that's it.
Yeah, Linda's playing Satisfactory.
Yeah, Satisfactory. It's like Satisfactory. This one's really good, this Modulus Factory. I'll tell you why, because a lot of problems with those games is they always have enemies in them, and then you sit there and you like they have a story to them, and sometimes the story works, sometimes they don't. This one, though, I really like it. It looks really, really good. And you're building vertically as opposed to just horizontally, which I really haven't seen before. There's a demo out. The demo's really long. I actually played the demo to death, and it comes out tomorrow. So that's what I'm
Evan, a lot of the patrons want to, because I don't play video games, and I didn't play Slay the Spire 1 ever at all.
Slay the Spire 2.
But a lot of people on my Patreon want me to play it because they go, it's like a dungeon game, but it's also a card game, and as Derik
Slay the Spire 2
used to play Magic a lot.
Good-ish. I played about 20 hours, Actually, Yahtzee Crochet just put up a review of it, and his feelings are exactly the same as mine, which is it's really good until it's not, because it is very unfinished to the point that there's literally boss battles where it looks like it's done in MS Paint. Like, seriously, it's that bad. And
no, that's just the vibe.
Exactly, right. They're like, oh, it's the vibe. I'm like, no. I'm like, no, that's almost unacceptable. I was like, and he's like, right. And there's not that many enemies in it. I was like, okay, now this is supposed to be it's supposed to be a 10,000 hour game, like 20 hours in. And I'm like, I keep seeing the same things over and over and over and over and over again. And I was like,
okay, but, and now I don't know much about the game, but I understand it's supposed to be kind of like a roguelike.
It is.
And
like
one of the
entirely
rogue.
It's a total
again, I don't really know it, but one of the things that I talk about a lot in my design, it's actually something I disagree with in a lot of modern adventure / dungeon design, is people want to just use a monster once and then you never see the monster again. And I think part of the appeal of encountering a monster over and over again, especially in a roguelike, is building up that mastery of being like, I know them. I know what move they're going to make before they even make it, and having that sense of domination.
100% right, but there's not enough. Like, so Mugenics does that. Mugenics, like, I play those first levels in Mugenics. I used to get killed. Like, I can literally sleep through them and I will destroy those levels.
That's good. I mean, that's
right.
that feeling of advancement.
They keep expanding it, and it does get harder and harder. And I'm seeing new things constantly. So it is a perfect balance. A good example is in the it's I put it this way, Slay the Spire 2. It's very rough. It's a little too rough.
Well, Nin is saying it's a pre-release. It's not even out yet.
Yeah, but you got to pay for it.
Well, that's just
free.
Hello, that's just that you just described. What is it? What did you suddenly wake up from 2014?
I know, nowadays, but this is not a. This is okay. I played a lot of pre-releases. Okay, this is a weird pre-release because they have whole sections not just missing, but they just have like MS art where it's supposed to be, and you're still playing it. So it's like it's not even good placeholder art. It's bad placeholder art.
Yeah, but that's no. Don't you understand? That's funny and irreverent. Like we're not trying. It's a troll. They're like, ha ha ha. See, look, it's not finished, so we're not even going to pretend like it's finished. We're just going to throw in,
I call that irresponsible. If you're going to take my money and expect me, and they do it at the end. That's the worst thing. It's like, so let me get this straight. I just put 25 hours getting to the final boss, and the whole finals fight is literally talk about the ultimate troll. It's like it's all placeholder art, and it's bad placeholder art. And I'm like, really?
You know what?
That's the one. You put the placeholder. Put the placeholder.
Listen, everyone. Steven puts his money where his mouth is.
You're just an art snob.
People in chat are talking about. Snob. He kind of is, but people in chat are talking about it's playtesting. It doesn't have to have it. I want you all to know he's not a hypocrite. So part of the reason why we do not have the Eldamon Legends the Eldamon, not Legends, Eldamon Battles playtest for the cards out, because the writing has been done. It's because Steven is like, I will not have this, even a playtest, unless we've got good-looking cards. They're basic. They don't have to have art.
And people say I'm a perfectionist.
That people can print out and use, and that it doesn't just look like it's a Word file that has words in it. So he lives up to this, even with his own things. He puts his money where his mouth is on that.
Someone said Darkest Dungeon is great. Your character's dialogue. I love Darkest Dungeon.
So that is a game.
Love that game. Not the second one. The second one sucked.
I only own
great.
I only own 8 games on Steam.
Oh, I love that game.
I only own eight games on Steam. One of them is Darkest Dungeon, and I did play it. I got distracted and never went back to it because that's what happens to me. But I did put in 10, 15 hours, which is about 80% of how much video games I've played over the last 5 years or whatever, 10 years. And I did think that game was pretty cool. So that is a game that I would actually be willing to go back and play.
There you go.
Yeah.
So you played about the same amount as I did.
You will love Mugenics because when you go in, each run, like you don't build up your characters. You'll love it. You'll like the breakage. So you breed cats, you go in, you do a run, and then your cats either all die, which happens a lot, or they succeed the run, and that's it. They're retired.
Because remember,
you have to start over every time.
There are many things about Derik that are very unusual in terms of how he engages with role-playing games. And one of them is that I very much don't care about my character. I do not seek immersion, nor do I necessarily think it's even a good thing. But even outside of that, my character it's a piece of paper to me. Like they are there to serve as a vehicle for, a storytelling experience. I have no connection or no, deep commitment to them and whatsoever. So like when people talk about like, oh, I hate this game because you build up a cool character and then they die or whatever, and like I'm like, cool. Like I actually prefer that. Like that is way more preferable to me.
Let's see. If anyone has super chats, feel free. And if anyone has any questions about,
they're saving them all for my stream with
Immortals.
Evan.
I didn't get a single super chat. This is pathetic.
Well, it's April Fool's. There were jokes on you, buddy.
I saw
you should have put a shocked white girl on your thumbnail.
Gave a comment about Immortals who said, "What does this say? Super loving Immortals. It's got a really mythic feel, way less complicated than actual mythic. I can see someone dropping into game for players fairly easily. You can see how this sort of system can really help players who are really unlucky or have some difficulty with difficult encounters, akin to the Human Plus system from Armored Core."
Someone asked, "What is the worst system for Eldamon? Call of Cthulhu, maybe."
I mean, depends on what you're talking about. Like thematically, or are we talking mechanically?
Yeah, worst means a lot of things.
Yeah, those are different questions. Oh, how does a pity super chat feel?
Love it.
Watersleaf for $2.
I love it.
I need it.
That is beautiful.
Good.
I'm thinking about what the worst system would be. I feel like Fatal is just the worst system by enough that it's also the worst system for Eldamon.
It's misogynar, the woman hating Eldamon.
So wait,
oh no.
Lamentations. That would not be so great.
It upgrades into a Republican. Yes, so
Derek's just chatting. He's just cracking himself up.
I streamed like 3 times last month. Like I haven't streamed in I didn't stream. I mean, I did a couple on the road. Like we streamed from Gary Con.
Oh, I know that would be bad if we didn't
stream from the pool.
Free market.
Free market with Eldamon.
I don't think it would work very well.
No. That is on the short list for games that Derik is going to run at Origins.
If you run that, I'm playing, man.
You can't keep claiming spots.
Why not? It's a sign up.
So there's a super fan chat that says, "Are any of you going to be to Concoction in New Jersey?" Also, hi.
No, I'm not aware. I'm not around that weekend.
I don't know that one.
It's the end
like a smaller local.
Yeah, I'm away.
Yeah, I need a break. I'm burned out. Too many conventions.
Oh my god, I am so burnt. Well, today was the first day I could actually relax.
Oh, same, big thing. I mean, because I flew in last night. Well, not last night, whatever. I flew in yesterday on a red eye, and so I got in at like 8 or 9 a.m., 10 a.m. And then
Steven never takes red eyes, by the way.
Right. and so then I kind of slept a little bit, and then I was kind of zonked out a bit, and I finally got a good night's sleep last night, and I just woke up and it's not hours or days or even weeks until I have to do something. It's months, and I'm like, oh my god, this is so great.
Actually, today after this was all done, actually even yesterday, because I finished everything well ahead of time, so I was like, I'm rewarding myself and going to go play board games, and then I get there late, and then I end up playing one. Yeah, I got to play one round of arcs, and then they quit. And they actually are going to be soft banned. I spoke to there's a couple. I was told them, and they said, "Oh, yeah, you can't do that." I'm like, that's like a big no. Like that's that was their first time here, and I'm like, yeah, that might be their last, because you're not allowed to do that. It's like an unwritten.
How does a soft ban work on in-person schedule? I could see how a hard ban would if you're just like, no,
the soft ban is just that if they are gonna play a game that is long or complex, they will not allow them to, basically. Because what happens is
I see. So it's a hard ban on certain activities.
You know what? people like
to
that.
me, a soft ban
you
is
should
one
only
where
get
it's
to
like
be able
you're,
to play werewolf.
you're secretly
pretty
banned,
much.
but nobody knows that you're banned. So every time you sign up for
Double
the
secret
table,
probation.
everyone else just leaves.
Well, no,
and
like,
the table
so-
doesn't fire.
So one of the guys who runs it, his thing is he only plays Euro games, and I mean the really tough Euro games. And so he's like, "Oh, well, they're banned
What's a
from
really
all-
tough Euro game to you? Like
okay,
Agricola, Caverna, like what?
Seti,
Okay,
a SETI game.
Agricola's not that tough. It just is a
No,
heavy
okay,
game.
let me rephrase tough. To me, well,
people really
we
struggle to feed their family, Mark.
Well, I'm talking about if you do the board game geek level of heaviness. So anything, I would say medium to heavy Euro style game. But this person, like Arcs is a pretty simple game. Now it's
It is not heavy.
It's very deep. Let me rephrase it. The mechanics, simple. The complexity, 10 out of 10. Like you really have to be thinking in a lot of directions. And it is definitely, if you have analysis paralysis, this is beyond the worst game you could ever possibly pay.
Well, it's also a game where having doing deep analysis paralysis doesn't really service you because the entire
exactly
of
the
the
whole
game
game is you
could
have to go with
change
the flow.
in the next round.
Yes, and not even the next row. Like that's exactly what happened to me. I was playing. This guy invaded my planets, beat the shit out of me, killed everything, raided all
scored no
my
points.
cards, and then I said, all right, and then I just got something else and I still was winning by the end of the first round. Like,
Right.
it's like
So
that's
we
the
got
point
a
of the
question
game.
from the person who super chatted. It wasn't in
Yeah.
the super chat, but I'm going to assume it was being
To honor it.
boosted
Yes.
by their super chat, which is, did we already talk more about the Legends Kickstarter? Which of the questions you can ask after super chatting is one that like puts a wide grin on Steven's face because it lets
No.
him talk about our Kickstarter while also answering a super chat.
We did not talk about it at all.
We did not. I mentioned this in the stretch goal, but we met with people from stretch goal 2, the one-page rules, and they said that the Eldamon army is going to be like one of the biggest armies that they have, not as big as the Alien Hive with just the common Eldamon yet. And they also said it's going to be very versatile, like extremely versatile and give a lot of options. And they were very impressed by the Eldamon army. So that may have just been them like trying to be like, hey, we're going to make you feel good about your Eldamon, and so that you want to do a one-page rules thing. But it sounded pretty good, and like they're going to be able to put in special rules for the different elements, which I wasn't expecting to get that many special rules for the elements when we first went in there. So we'll see how it works.
Yeah, so I don't know if you know, Derek, you remember Perrin was across from us at
Of course.
Gamma, and you were talking to him.
Oh,
so
yeah,
we're going to do...
I checked them out.
Yeah, so we're going to do as a stretch goal, we're making a one-page rule Eldamon army that you can now run.
I mean,
And they're going all in on it, and I'm like, boy, people are going to be having so much fun. That's going to be such
I'd
a
run
troll.
it. That's what I would run.
I know it's going to be such a troll that it's like
because it could be
you have
Eldamon
your
versus
Space Marines,
the space lizards,
Right.
Yeah.
and the robot
Yeah.
And when you
destroyers.
kill
and
the
then, and then-
robots,
and the
the
Squirrel
space
Ash
lizards,
just
and like
kick your ass.
you kill the Tyranids with your like Squirrel Ash.
Yeah,
And it's just going to be hilarious.
Squirrel Ash and Moorpup just killed your army. And
As well, they should. Moorpup is a fucking destroyer of worlds,
well,
my
guess
friend.
what? Jason, last night, 2 nights ago, I rolled on the table and he got Moorpup. And
I mean, it is a common, right?
yeah,
It's common. It's not that unlikely.
It's common.
But
And I
Yeah,
said, I'm
Moorpup's
like,
a good
oh,
one.
I'm like, oh, Moorpup.
D10
They were all
with the
excited.
death trait.
Everyone was excited for that one.
Right.
my
D10.
in my game, Linda has a Moorpup who is like religious of Zoa, the god of death.
Yikes.
And just like kind of has that half mask from Zoa's holy symbol that it kind of wears.
So
Yeah.
so Moorpup is weird because then I was like trying to describe it. I'm like, well, it's a head of a dog, and they just have a scarf, and the scarf makes butterfly wings, and that's kind of it. And then I'm like, and then they're just got
And the
smoke.
scarf is like made out of the red string of
Yeah.
fate.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
they
I
were-
view it as sort of like a kind of like a grim. You know, it's like a
Yeah.
spectral. It's like a spectral visage of death.
but they were
also,
like
is a good boy.
they liked it.
Very
oh well,
good boy.
yeah. And then I added the personality that it got common as a language, so it was talking to them all.
Right. Remember, I didn't have to deal with that because remember, my shtick of my character is that I destroyed the Eldamon and broke them down into their DNA components, and then I incorporated them into my gray goo matrix.
You're so mean. Now with this one, it's a gossip too. So I'm putting in the personalities.
A gossipy harbinger of death.
Yeah,
it's kind of funny.
Did you hear who's gonna die?
Oh, exactly.
Or
That's
just like
remember, so and so died. Guess who the other two are gonna be?
Yeah, exactly. That's what it was. I was like, it's gonna be fun.
Like accept like last rites from people, and then they like give their confessions right before they die, and then spreads it out as gossip to other people. It's like, ooh, you cannot believe what this lady told me right before she died.
Yeah.
Also, John Bobrisky. We talked about it a little bit at the beginning of the show, but they got over 100 entries for the dungeon design contest for the Shadowdark dungeon design contest.
About 100.
The legally distinct one, Shadowdark. I don't remember exactly. We can't call it the Shadowdark dungeon design. It's the dungeon design contest.
Contest for Shadowdark.
Shadowdark.
It's a dungeon design contest for Shadowdark. That's
exactly
what we do.
That's what we're
legally
allowed to call it.
Yeah.
We can put anything with for Shadowdark, just not things with Shadowdark in the front as an adjective.
Yes.
Correct.
That's very
Otherwise,
important.
I get yelled at by Kelsey.
Right. Correct.
She's very polite.
Well, because it makes it seem like
she's
it's
very protective. I can respect
because it makes it seem like it's
I know
official.
she is, but she's very polite about it too. She just makes sure that you follow her rules, which is fair. She has a generous license as long as you do it that way.
Someone wrote, I hope we get the Diana stretch goal. Those kinds of star power networking incentives pay dividends and getting people to take a look. Videos themselves are going to be a nice resource.
I don't even know what the stretch goal is.
So the third stretch goal is going to be a series of 5-minute videos on each element, because Derik, you and I made lengthy guides. You did Fire and Life, which is by far longer than the ones I did with Linda, but the ones I did with Linda are like 30 minutes to an hour each. That's great for our kinds of viewers, but it's not getting the people who are in the Roll for Combat Discord and are like, please, I just want a quick video of each element that I can give to my player who will not read the book, but wants to learn about the elements. And the people keep asking for it. So Steven is putting it in the stretch goal, and doing 13 videos like that is, it's not good. Not going to be cheap, but I think it's going to be awesome. It's going to have good graphics. Diana always does great videos. I think it's going to bring more people in.
Yeah, she does. However, there we go. I'll do that obviously for free, and then we'll see who does it better.
There you go. Yeah, have it as a contest. See who gets more views between their videos.
Who would possibly get more views?
But it's like, I love your guide of the life element, but I'm telling you, Diana is going to get like 10 times as many views.
Of course.
With a 5-minute video on the life element.
Yeah.
But I just loved it because it was fun. I came in and bombed it in the chat, and we talked about life strategy all the time.
Yeah, like we talked about the strategy of it. I mean, again, that's I can't say enough about Eldamon. It's crazy.
Yes, you do love it. It is awfully good.
To be clear, I could give a shit about the little pet things. I mean, that's fine. I mean, I appreciate the collectible aspect of it, and they're fine. But like the mechanics are just awesome. Like
mechanics,
water, life. I mean, even like fire. Like this is like one of my key selling points too. Is I always talk about like with fire. I talk about like look, in most of these situations, chat. You guys all obviously own Eldamon, but like what I love about like even the simple play pattern of fire is when you use your refresh power, it's like quote taking a turn off. But if you did your job well and you got everything on fire, then when you take your turn off to refresh, it actually is a pretty good turn. And that's what's so cool. Or if you work with your team to sort of encourage that kind of, persistent fire damage or whatever, then when you take your refresh power, it's like, actually, that was a really effective turn. And
it hasn't happened often for me because our Barbarian and Magus kill things so quickly. Right, sure. But when it does, it feels really nice. It was like, hey, my turn off, I actually pinged 5 people for persistent fire damage. There's one time I did more damage with persistent.
Yes.
It's actually my best time because people in the group thought the time I critted with Flame Whip was my best time. But my actual best time, I did more damage with persistent fire damage than I did with regular damage, and than anyone did with anything. Because somebody critically failed against my reaction, which actually did a ton to them. I spread it with a fan of flames onto multiple other things, and it just went crazy.
I had a very similar experience, Mark, where I basically refreshed early because I was like, man, everybody's on fire. think I should just refresh. And I was like, I mean, I'll get my big bangs back, but also I think this is going to be really effective and powerful, and it was. And so, like, yeah, that is
I did that before too.
That's such a deeply compelling process and strategy. Look, Rising Star PF2, I'm not saying it's bad. Far from it. I'm sure it's delicious. I'm just saying I don't care about it.
That's fine. You don't have to like everything about it.
No, I don't. You know, again, my thing is I'm not here to yuck anyone's yum.
By the way,
I'm just very opinionated about what I like and what I don't like.
I have an opinion. How about this? Arc and Eldamon are very similar because you don't get to choose your Eldamon, really. They choose you. You have to find them. And
well, I mean, if you do method 1, where the GM doesn't want to roll on the tables,
right?
And well, you just when you level up, you pick an Eldamon or two, then you can choose.
The way I'm doing it,
but most people I know like random. To roll on the tables.
So I
do that too, Steven.
You got to go with the flow, man. You got to deal with what you get, and that's exactly how Arc plays, man.
I'm sure that's how Derik would run it.
100%.
With Eldamon, because it's emergent gameplay.
It's emergent gameplay. It's diegetic growth. 100%.
Yeah, and it's also fun.
Again, what you're just describing, I could see being very, no offense, I could see that being very unappealing to maybe some members of the PF2 community who really love the build, right?
Well, then they'll use method 1, and they can
no.
Derik, you don't like it when I give options for the people
no
who
methods
are playing
allowed.
The way that you don't like, even if the main one is one that you like, then why do you always start with saying I'm not here to yuck your yum? You are here to yuck their yum. You wanted to not have an option for them.
No yucking of yum.
No, I'm not yucking your yum. I'm not yucking your yum. I'm just saying you're wrong.
Oh my God. That's even worse.
You can be wrong and be having fun. Okay.
Such a loser.
Mr. Rogzinski says there was so much pain in that. No.
Well, you were like, no.
Waters, that's kind of what we did when I played as an Eldamon trainer. We were running in a Pathfinder X, Starfinder X, like post-apocalyptic dying Earth genre game. And we had an android soldier, and we had a intelligent weapon magus, and then we had a dungeon Eldamon trainer, and we had a slime Eldamon trainer. That was me. And then Bob was the undead 4-armed people mechanic.
Whatever that is. What's an undone?
Mark knows.
The undead 4-armed people?
Well, it's like two ancestries. It's like the heritage, the Kalathi.
Oh, okay, I see. They combined the Kasatha with a undead heritage.
Yeah. They were an undead mechanic.
I was trying to think of a ancestry that was specifically both undead and 4-armed, and I was like, well, Eoxians don't have 4-armed.
Yes, Rising Star. He was a staff, and he was a what is it? The spinning staff.
Twisting Tree.
That was it. Yes, that was it. And he himself was a staff. And his familiar, wait, you ready for it? So the inspiration for this was, if you ever played EverQuest, the original EverQuest, the enchanter had a pet, and when you would summon it, it was just like a floating, like a floating pair of hands with like wielding weapons. So he was a magus.
I only played an enchanter the time that I played the original.
Fantastic, which was my favorite class of all time. But he was a staff, and the lore of this is that many campaigns ago in PF1, there was a joke / we made it a reality, which was that his high-level cleric in the future became a staff of True Life and then got sent back through time to his current character so that we could use his character in order to continue to have a cleric even when he re-rolled a new character. Anyways, so he's that character. He's a magus, and then he took a familiar, and he took like an animated, I don't remember what it was, mechanical familiar, but his familiar was a pair of gloves. So his familiar was like a pair of gauntlets that like wielded him. So his character was essentially a floating pair of gauntlets with a staff, but he did it through being an intelligent weapon with a construct familiar or whatever.
Intelligent weapon magus is so sick. With Fling Self as animated weapon.
That's what he was responding to.
That's what I was talking about this whole time.
I know you were. It's like I fell asleep at the table and I didn't realize what was going on. So that actually happened to me at GaryCon because I was playing.
You fell asleep at GaryCon?
Yeah, at the table. So where I was playing Fabula Ultima, and it was just me. So no one showed up to the game. So I was supposed to play a 4, 5, 6 person game, and it was just me and one other guy. And so we had to play 2 characters each. And
I didn't get a chance to talk to them, but I'm curious how they did, because Gary Con doesn't seem like a Fabula Ultima kind of place.
yeah, I don't know. But, well, they had a lot of
We
kids
sold
there.
a lot of freaking Eldamon, so what do I know?
And there was a lot of kids there. Anyhow, I played it, and the guy was going on and on and on. It was like the big bad moment. And we were playing in a water park, so it's hot, it's humid, I'm tired.
Like, literally, by the way,
it was literally a water park. Literally.
Yeah, you showed a picture of it.
And so I'm literally falling asleep. And next thing I know, I wake up my eyes, and the GM's looking at me, and the player's looking at me, and I realize, uh-oh. And then I'm like, yes. And I'm like,
yes, and
yes, and I was like, now
yes,
what?
it's like what the
I had no idea what they said. I missed all of it.
That just said, I will split the world in half and give you half the world.
Right.
And you just said yes to that, Steven.
It was literally, I fell asleep. I literally fell asleep. And I didn't hear a fucking thing they said. And I was just like, uh-oh. And I think they knew it too, because I was just so tired. I was tired, and it was just, and also,
it's bad when one of your players does that, but it's even worse when that player is playing 2 of your characters.
Well, that's the thing. It was like
half the party.
It was a lot. I was like, I mean, it was fine. I had fun, but it's like I really didn't want to play 2 characters. And then the other guy I was playing with, he was like a stone wall. Like I would like do stuff and make jokes, and he would just look at me like, okay, like I couldn't read him at all, and I was like, wow, this guy's like a professional poker player. I was like, okay, this guy has no reactions to anything. I don't know how to play with this. So, and yeah, it was fine. I mean, I got the gist of how it is. We got our asses kicked though, man. That final boss just killed everyone. It was
oh no.
Well, it's really hard. I mean, you don't really die in Fabula Ultima.
Yeah, well, you can choose to just suffer a consequence and not be killed.
Yeah, it was fine. Well, I didn't love that, because it just felt like, all right, that was not like, that's the last thing. So that's a trick of game design. It's like the things people remember are the very beginning and the very end. And the very end, it's like, oh, you all lost. I'm like, all right, that's what I remember about that game. After 4 hours, I remember falling asleep, and I remember getting our asses kicked. So there you go.
Well, then you should probably have chosen to sacrifice and gone out in a blaze of glory.
Yeah.
Well,
maybe you would have won if you went out in a blaze of glory.
Well, no, what ended
up... Or you could have done it with one of your 2 characters. You had 2 characters.
For example,
there's like a Deus Ex Machina. The last
time I ran press start,
mm-hmm.
The white mage character, the princess, I think they're they them, but like the character, the one big huge dark armor thing unleashed this like dark wave of energy that hit 3 characters for a bunch of damage, and it killed the white mage priestess, and they chose to sacrifice. And basically what we did is, instead, as it struck them, they like absorbed all the negative energy and like burned themselves out, and it became like a positive wave of radiance. And so not only did they die, obviously, but then it also, instead of damaging their allies, it actually healed them to full, and like that gave them the strength to overcome.
Their GM didn't give us
and
those
actually
options.
Everyone was like, oh my god, that was amazing, that was
but
so
they didn't
awesome.
really tell us. We're learning the game. So
no, it's because every GM is bad.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I'm not like knocking it, but like I just think these pay for play GMs at conventions just aren't good.
Yeah, you don't want to be. I was at. Oh man, Mark, we were at PaizoCon, and we were playing Starfinder, and it was me and Bob and Chris and Seth. And that poor GM, because we were like, he was playing, and we were literally quoting the rules back to him, like he was doing things wrong. We're like, actually, this is the rule, because we all knew those rules inside out, and we're like, I'm like, I felt bad for the guy after a while. I was like, guy, look, you're just doing it wrong, and we're not being dicks, but this is how you're supposed to do it. I mean, and it got bad after a while, so. That's what happens. I see that happens a lot. I mean, if it happens to me, it can only happen with Mark. I can imagine Mark can never play anything with ever, because they'll be like, everyone's getting the rules wrong. Everyone's doing it wrong.
It's fine. The main thing that I have an issue with is that I try to be the GM and not a player, because when I play, And
I can never be a player.
I don't correct the rule, which I try not to do because I think it's rude to constantly be interrupting to correct the rules. Afterwards, sometimes people will be like, well, my niche rules interpretation that's very overpowered must be right, because in this game, Mark Seifter was sitting there, right there, and he watched as the GM did that thing, and he didn't say anything.
So you feel like a moral imperative to speak up?
But I don't want to speak up because it's also rude to speak up. Right. So therefore, I feel a moral imperative not to play on a public stream.
There you go.
If I'm the GM, then it's my job to tell them, no, that very overpowered rules interpretation is not correct in my game.
Yeah,
and so then I don't run into that situation where I have a no win.
That's why I can only GM too. I mean, like
that's just a part of it for me.
Yeah, I have to GM just because there's too many times, especially Pathfinder or any game that I'd see. I don't mind doing with games I don't know the rules because I don't know the rules, so that's fine. But then anything the games the rules, and then the other one that sucks is when you play a board game and then people get the rules wrong. Ugh, that one.
Well, now that's different.
The board game, you kind of a lot of times almost have to correct.
No, yeah, you do. Right. Yeah, you do. You have to get the rules right.
With TTRPGs, though, it's kind of rude to correct and interrupt. So I try not to, unless the GM is like, really, please do. And even then, I don't want to do it in a stream because I think even if the GM told me to and is visibly seen telling me to on a stream, I think that people who are watching are going to like judge me for doing it. Ooh, there's an interesting idea that Watersleeth had now that in the chat to do a party where everybody are intelligent weapons with the symbiotic heritage. So basically there's this adventuring party of humans who are all just worthless peasants who have no skills, and their weapons are the only ones who have the skills, and everyone thinks that they're like the fated heroes who are going to save the world, but the weapons are doing everything.
That's my favorite. I don't know if it's like a heritage or if it's like a subtype, but that's like
it's a heritage.
Yeah, that's my favorite one.
That's my favorite one too. It's just so hilarious.
It's hilarious. Yes.
Oh God, I swear to God, I thought it was an April Fool's joke. I got an email this morning. Is that Foundry version 14 just came out today, and I'm like, come on.
No, that has to be an April Fool's joke.
No, it's real.
It's real. It actually came out today.
Christ. And people wonder why. They're like, Derik, why don't you do that? I was like, because
14. I just got used to 13. I literally just got used to 13.
Maybe it'll be like a minor update.
It is a minor update because then I wrote all my coders. I'm like, guys, what do we have to do? Do I have to redo all 50 of my modules? They're like, no, it's fine. It's like every other year. It's kind of like how the iPhones work. It's like every other year is a major upgrade. And but still,
the problem is I don't pay attention to the beta. Let's take a look here.
What
do we vote for? Scene levels. See, like that shit I just don't care about.
Well, the ability to have layers.
Who is doing vertical? How much vertical fucking levels are you like? What is going on in your gameplay?
I do that. No, what you do is that you do it for layering so that you can like remove the roofs and stuff.
Who cares about that?
I do. Cool.
Like. No, it's you know what? You know why? It's because you'd rather it just be a video game. You can say it. It's okay.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. All right. At least you're willing to admit that.
Yes. Every roof and everyone's always using roofs. Being able to remove a roof in a VTT is fucking awesome. It is very cool because then you see the city and then you walk in and the roof goes off and they're like, ooh. Yes, that's right. See, prepping VTT maps is too much work.
It is way too much work.
That's why you buy pre-made things by me.
Maybe people would be better game masters if they spent more time, trying to be a good game master.
Maybe they should be better game masters. They should just buy. They should buy everything ahead of time and not have to, and just worry about playing the game, and then have to worry about setting everything up.
You know what? There you go. That's what you should do. Hire Rising Star.
You'll do Foundry maps, okay? By the way, I need someone who's really good at Tabletop Simulator, TSS. I need
TS,
but yeah, that'd be great.
I need a TTS.
They're coming out with a major revision. They're finally coming out with TTS.
They're going to Unity or something, I don't know. I need a TTS programmer if anyone's out there, like a good one, because I want to put the Eldamon card game on TTS.
I'd be very happy with that, and the people who asked me for it from the prospective playtesters will be happy too. I just thought it was a brilliant idea when they suggested it. Yeah, it's a card game that needs playtesting, and they were like, I don't know if I can get physical people around to play it.
All everyone tests. I mean, Cole does all of their well, not anymore. I mean, I was gonna say Leader Games, but now I'm assuming Berry Giant. They do all their playtesting on TTS.
Yeah,
I just think it allows you to get people from across the world to playtest each other, and because of the fact that you don't have to pick up things, you can probably run them more quickly, because our card game has a lot of options. Because of the fact that one of the things we said we wanted to do is a feature complete with all of the powers from the regular game that are in the card game, that means there's an awful lot of cards to test out and a lot of playstyle groupings. Even though we only have 3 elements out, we're going to need a lot of testing. So having a TTS version, I think, is going to really
TTS,
help.
Kojo, TTS is written in Unity, but the scripting language, I mean, you're not literally writing TTS. Everything uses Lua. It's all Lua. Mm-hmm. So if you were one of those people who made World of Warcraft mods, your time is now.
I literally was just thinking that. That's exactly right.
Those are all written in Lua.
All of them were done in Lua. Boy, they were the first ones to do that. That was an accident. That was literally them. Of course, they don't never say that, but I was there. They were like, oh man, there was all this stuff they wanted to put in the game, and they just did not have the time. So they're like, fuck it, let's just make an add-on system, and the rest is history. They're just like, if they didn't do that, I bet you I don't even think World of Warcraft would still be around if it wasn't for the add-ons. Because the add-ons it filled in all the holes that World of Warcraft had at the time, which there were many. Especially the first few years, oof, it was rough. Remember?
Yeah, it's a scripting engine. It's a scripting language.
Was it WowBot? Remember? Was it WowBot? Was that the one?
I remember. I had a lot.
Where you could look up anything, and there was the maps, and oh god, there's so many. I
remember I had ones to help with the auction house. I had ones to help.
Yeah. Auction house ones. Yeah, that was the one WowBot. I think it was. There was a lot of good ones. Especially back then, because everyone was learning the game, so you'd have to constantly go back to the websites to look things up to figure out where the hell we were going to go. Anyhow, yeah, I don't know exactly where. I don't know where you find a TTS scripter. I was kind of looking, but
yeah, I don't think not exactly a huge thing that people are advertising.
You'd be surprised. There's a lot of people who do it, though. I mean, there's a lot out there, but they all do their own thing. So someone does it. Someone's got to know.
But yeah, so
we have super chat.
Oh, super chat. Can I get a quick refresher on why Eldamon don't seem to do traditional healing? IG life charges a temporary HP rather than regular healing. Well, I can't speak for Mark, but I will say, as a person who played a cleric in Pathfinder 2nd Edition from level 1 to 20, and then as someone who played an Eldamon trainer who had access to On-Crub or On-Crush. I think it's both.
Both.
It's both. With the life element. Number one, it's because that it's way more fucking fun. So that's reason number one. Number two, because clerics and the heal spell already do the traditional healing. So, Eldamon is not trying to just do the same thing again. It's trying to do something different and something, unique and interesting and lead to more engaging play patterns. That would be my take.
Those are two of the most important reasons. And I would say number 3 is just that the at-will nature of the Eldamon would also, not only is Derik absolutely right that it has 2 positive interactions within combat, but it would also make out of combat degenerate, and it would make and if we were like, well, you can't use it out of combat, then it would make leaving one kobold alive so that you could just laugh at it while you heal yourself style gameplay happen. And I do not enjoy having that in a TTRPG.
Curious.
Keep in mind, when I play a video game that does that, which I have before, I absolutely do leave alive the one kobold and heal back to full in the video game every time because you can. But I just don't want that to be an option.
Curious. Doesn't Lay on Hands kind of already do that?
No. Lay on Hands. Now, there are some things that have been published recently that just kind of don't do the right amount. But Lay on Hands does a very established amount of healing every 10 minutes. That is very different than being able to get hundreds within 30 seconds.
I see. You're speaking because it's on the round recharge
Yes.
or whatever.
Yes, which actually is why the life
Right,
Eldamon
when you actually do use it for real healing, it shuts it down for however long.
Yeah, which it eventually can do. It can do healing once per hour because like Derik said, it's more fun to do the mechanics that it normally does. It doesn't step on the cleric's toes. They actually synergize well because the cleric keeps you topped up and the Eldamon keeps you with extra hit points. And now it actually is worth it to have both in your party. I don't think you need to because one is going to be enough.
Well, heal is already so powerful and broken.
Either of them is going to be enough for you. But if you want to, because you think it's fun, you can. And it is even capable of healing every once in a while, which if you do need that type of healing, you can get it, but not in an amount that's going to break the bank. So that's kind of how it goes.
There you go. Right from the horse's mouth or Mark's mouth.
Also, water. I think the reason why water didn't pick it up is because I think that wood kind of took what we would traditionally maybe think of as water. Is that safe to say?
I would say this. Water is sometimes the healing element. It is in, for example, Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Yeah.
That's a very commonly known one where water heals. It heals in Codex Alera. It heals in a variety of games. But those are also all games and TV shows and series that do not have a life element.
Mm-hmm.
And so water is like the water of life. Like, I get it. Water is a good choice if you don't have a life. If you have fire, earth, air, and water, I think that water or earth are your best bets for healing. You could make an argument for any of them. But since we have a life element that is all about healing, then that's the one that does healing. And I decided to do a different take on water. And I've seen some people who are really happy about that, who sent me messages being like, this is not just the water that we always see from other people. This is water that is powerful. It's water that it represents the tides or a flash flood, and like the way that water can, water takes up most of our world, and it can do a lot of big things.
So
it can carve through stone.
It is not the water of life.
It is not the water of life.
To be fair, it is, because the water of life is actually a very deadly, dangerous poison.
I know, exactly.
But it's not that, because there's a poison element.
That's true.
There you go. There you go. Oh, look at that.
Cool.
A lull. So what is your next plan now, Derik? Don't you have Northern Reaches starting in a few weeks?
Yeah, we have it starting here in the next couple of weeks, 16 days.
Are you going to have Battlezoo Immortals in there so that the characters
I'm
are
sure
all
someone will probably be like, oh, we should put this in there. Yeah, we're starting season 4, which is really season 5.
Season of the Witch?
No, but this is a big change. So the first 4 seasons, or the first 3 seasons, took place in a small frontier town called Northport, and the players over the last 3 years have done such a good job of beating back the villains and building up the town that basically it wasn't really a frontier town anymore. And so now season 4 is going to be kind of represent a new frontier, and they're going to be going into a sort of a new part of the Northern Reaches, the Northern Wilds, I think is what it's called. You can check it out at www.northernreaches.org. I'm serious, by the way. You can do that.
April Fools.
No, it's not. It's a real website. But it'll be really cool and really interesting. We're bringing back one of the things that's changed is we've got more. We got a lot more folks these days who are playing our campaigns that are more interested in politics and storytelling and role playing than say just cool knockdown drag out fights. And we've sort of adjusted the game a little bit to sort of take that into consideration.
April Fools. So, big news is that Hasbro's was attacked by a cyber attack, and they're down. A lot of their websites are down.
April Fool
down?
Yeah. No, actually, this week it started actually on March 28th. But they had to do.
Oh wow! Yeah, I see that in Reuters.
Yeah, but D&D Beyond and the D&D homepage, they're fine. There you go. But all the other stuff, yeah, it's
wow,
very common, man. Very common.
The shares fell 3%. based on a cyber attack. It's weird that a cyber attack can make your shares go down by 3%.
Anything can make your shares go down.
Anything.
I guess it is basically just like
Public perception of strength. Yeah.
It's a mood ring.
Yeah, it's a mood ring. Yeah, and just about as accurate.
Yikes.
By the way, as we speak, I believe the crew is boarding the Orion spacecraft right now.
You're really into this Orion. Where can you watch it, or is it only online?
It's online.
Well, I mean, it seems like, all right, I'll watch it. Orion Space.
Also, well, the actual mission is Artemis 2.
Okay, the Artemis. Well, yes, Artemis 2. I am excited, but
it's the first time humans have been back to the moon in 50 years. I mean, that's huge.
Well, they're not landing. They're just going around.
Of course not. But I mean, we didn't land till Apollo 11, and there was, Apollos before that. Apollo 10 went to the moon and just didn't land.
We could go to the moon. We just choose not to.
I believe Apollo 7 and Apollo 10 went to the moon and didn't land.
That is correct.
I'm
looking here. Countdown to launch, 1 hour and 34 minutes. Look at that.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, should be interesting. Well, the thing is, it's like...
No, it was Apollo 8.
We launch so many rockets every day. It's like rockets are launched all the time to the point that no one even pays attention. But this is cool. It is cool just because it looks like a luxury liner, their capsule, compared to what they used to have, which was...
Oh, I mean, here's the crazy thing, though, which I love. I mean, because you have to remember, like, the space shuttle was a really revolutionary machine. And some people, I mean, it's the most complex machine that humans have ever built. But it was very impractical, and so it's kind of funny that, like, what's old is new, and like you were basically just back to a capsule on top of a on top of a rocket. However, yeah, the Orion spacecraft is considerably larger than the old Apollo command modules used to be.
Those were horrible. They were how they were unbelievable.
Now, granted, it's still not exactly what I would call luxurious.
No.
It's basically about the size of like a of a kitchen, but it is significantly larger.
This is,
and it also is a 4-man crew instead of a 3-man crew. So.
I'm watching the live stream. How many people do you think are on the live stream of Artemis?
Not enough.
2,163 people. That's it. That just tells you everything you need to know.
I know.
2,000 people are watching this.
I mean, it's just one of those things where, are you at like NASA.gov?
I'm actually at CBS News. Let's see, what NASA.gov. I mean, let's see, where's that NASA?
Well, like there's like an official YouTube.
Oh, okay.
NASA.
Okay,
so
now
you were just watching the CBS version.
Okay, yeah. On NASA, there's half a million
NASA
people.
48,000. But still.
No, that's 400,000.
Oh, I'm on NASA. Okay, hold on. Let me.
If you go to
that's
NASA,
a lot more than we're watching on CBS.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. There's half a million people watching on YouTube.
All right. Now I'm more impressed.
Yeah. I mean, it should still be higher, but I get it. They're not landing on the moon. Whatever. I get it. It's not that big of a deal, even though it's a huge deal. Not to mention, like, these people are about to do something very risky.
You think?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Here's the official broadcast. 399,969.
And it's the first time a Canadian is going to the moon.
Not going to the moon. They're going around the moon.
They're going to the moon.
They're going to a moon.
They're just
I
not
love how
landing.
you're just like casually dismissing someone traveling hundreds of thousands of miles to our nearest, orbiting body, as if it's just like going to get the milk.
They did it 50 years ago, and they were on a toaster.
You know what? If anything, all that does is highlight how absolutely insane that accomplishment was 50 years ago.
No, beyond insane. Like that is like all of mankind putting all their brightest and smartest and everything to try to do one thing, as opposed to now, where
because
it's done.
by comparison, NASA is now doing this on like a shoestring budget with an administration that doesn't give a shit, full of people who mostly don't care, and a world that is more concerned about TikTok than space exploration. So yeah,
pretty much everyone has been fired or pressured into leaving, and they're now making all the parts in different places, so hopefully they fit together.
They were always making the parts in different places.
No, but they were making them.
No, but they were working together on.
They were
them,
working together highly, and
I
also
know people who were the leads on the project. Steven, I know you always know people in everything we're talking about, but this time I actually do. And to a degree where sometimes they will come over and complain about it like multiple times a month, and so I get to hear it more than maybe anyone would want to hear about it. So I know, and I'm telling you that the way they do it, where they're not even paying attention and they're just ordering and they hope it's going to fit together now.
Well, then it's guaranteed for failure
worse.
because when they were paying attention, then
we still lost 2 of them.
You had the famous Mars lander
No,
that
that
crashed
absolutely is true.
because one person did it in metric and the other one did it in imperial.
You're correct.
And it crashed.
It should be terrifying to you that it is getting even more slapdash than that.
Yeah,
correct. I mean, think about it this way: they built 5 orbiters, and 2 of them didn't make it. Of the shuttle. So
yeah.
And they blew up for very, what I'll call, benign reasons, right? A leaky O-ring and a heat tile that fell off.
Okay, the O-ring was.
I know they said that they knew it and that they
was
warned against
preventable
it,
and they
it
knew
wasn't
it, and
I know.
Yeah, that should never have happened. That was them rushing.
I have
because
literally
they had
listened.
PR. Because if it wasn't for the teacher on there, they probably would have not happened. But they are like, "Oh, the teacher, we got to get PR, got to get ratings, launch them," and then boom. Good job. Yeah. Good job, guys.
Turns out when you don't put smart scientist people involved in charge of things get fucked up.
Yeah.
And when you do things for stupid political reasons, things get fucked up.
Well, that's pretty much what happened.
Well, they're taking out the science now, so we'll see what happens.
Here we go. I mean, I like what Cranky said. I'm surprised it didn't get canceled because it's not profitable.
Well, it is profitable because NASA has never copywritten any of their discoveries, and anything they discover can be used by anyone. In fact, it has been determined that the discoveries that NASA has made trillions of dollars worldwide.
Yeah, of course. I mean,
it's very profitable. It's just not profitable for them. It's profitable for humanity,
right? Which people aren't interested in anymore. So. Anyways, but it's so crazy. Like right now, there's a live feed, and they've got freaking iPads.
They have iPads. Look how much space they have.
I know.
It's luxurious. I'm looking at the live feed. They're just they can stretch out. They're like totally relaxed. Yeah, they definitely have iPads. Everyone's
Steve Takahashi. I was actually looking at their meal list, and it's so crazy how good their food is. I mean, obviously it's still space food, but we've come a long way from astronaut ice cream and whatever powdered meal rations. They had their day by day, because now everything it's all public record, So, but I think it's thrilling.
Yeah, look at this. Yeah, no, it is okay. I'll watch this. Now it's getting kind of exciting.
I know. I'm gonna leave here in a few minutes. I'm gonna go play racquetball, and then I'm gonna finish
with the croquet mallet, though, right?
With the croquet mallet,
because your racquetball racket breaks.
That's right.
And then I'll basically be done in time to watch the launch. So,
will you?
For All Mankind.
For All Mankind, final season.
I've never seen it.
I've never seen it, but everyone loves it. I know who watches it.
So what you're seeing right here, I don't know if
they're signing the passes.
Yeah, so this is called the White Room, and it's a famous room where historically back during the Gemini program, there was this white clean room, and that's where all the Gemini astronauts began this tradition of putting their mission sticker and signing it.
Not Gemini.
No, it is Gemini, but it is actually pronounced Gemini.
You're such a weirdo. You're such a weirdo.
It's like sigil, how it's
only
pronounced.
You would
sigil.
know that. Only you're like, I've never even heard that. And the thing is, I kind of believe you, even though I've never heard of it, because it sounds like something Derik.
Why is it pronounced that way?
But that's somebody
never heard it pronounced that way.
That's the way that NASA always pronounced it. It's the way that the astronauts always pronounced it.
Oh, Gemini. Well, there you go. You know what?
Gemini.
Sometimes that just
that's
is
like
what
that's
it
like
is.
the data versus data.
Right. No, it's like sigil versus sigil.
Right. Well, it's like until someone comes up with, quote, the official pronunciation. But it didn't stick, which is fascinating because you would think everyone would be saying Gemini now instead of Gemini, but everyone says Gemini instead. So, I think because there was a lot of 70s songs and groups named Gemini. So also Gemini is a better rhyming mechanism than Gemini.
Well, and just also the zodiac sign, right?
Yeah, but still. Well, I've said that story, said everyone pronounced data either as data or data. And in fact, you watch a lot of shows from the 70s and 80s, you hear them say data all the time. And then on Star Trek, they were asking how to pronounce it. And
no, Dr. Pulaski calls data.
No.
And
when they did that on purpose so she could be a dick. But in the beginning, when they first started it, they asked Patrick Stewart, and he's the one who decided to call him Data instead of Data, and the rest is history. So now everyone says Data instead of Data because of that. And she purposely said Data just to be a shit because that's her character. It was like
I looked it up. And it said NASA historically pronounces Gemini as Gemini, rhyming with Jiminy Cricket, rather than the standard Gemini, as in the constellation. Although Gemini is standard English, NASA officials in the 1960s cemented Gemini as the official pronunciation, partly due to Southern influence amongst engineers and as an insider term.
Oh. So if you were cool, and if you're in the know, and that is such gatekeeping. I can't even believe it. That is literally gatekeeping. That is NASA gatekeeping. If you don't know what you're talking about and you call Gemini, you're like, this guy's a poser.
Right. He doesn't know. He hasn't listened to all the NASA mission logs live on tape.
Exactly.
And
if you think that's bad, when I was working at NASA, they had acronyms, which sometimes the letters themselves stood for acronyms. So it was like nested layers of acronyms.
There you go.
And you were supposed to know what it was, even though the acronym stood for an acronym in one of the letters.
We should do
they have all these shibboleths. Trust me, they will find out if you're the real NASA.
Right, if you're a real NASA head.
Someone said we should do a Starfinder Ancestries book. I hate to break it to you, they're all Starfinder Ancestries book because everything works for Starfinder. In fact, we are now officially converting all of our modules for Foundry.
That's right. Is it Immortals and
Year of Mysteries officially?
Spirits
officially. All of them. All officially.
All the mysteries.
Yeah, all the mysteries officially.
If you want to play a curious mushroom person or a house spirit or a scorpion person, that could be an alien in your game, right?
That's right.
Or any of these other options, they are available for Starfinder right now.
Yeah, I literally just did that this morning as I did that in Foundry. We had to wait a little bit for Foundry to catch up. I think that's part of what Foundry 14 is
also
doing,
just like having a weird aberrant eldritch horror sounds like a very Starfinder-y thing. So I think the Year of Mysteries book is just going to be a good one for Starfinder.
By the way, they were just showing the people on the crew of the Orion, and you have two mission specialists and the pilot and the commander. One of my favorite bits about NASA is that the pilot is not the pilot. The commander is the pilot. The pilot is really the co-pilot, but like nobody wants to be called the co-pilot when you're like a badass space dude. So,
yeah, of course not.
So yeah, so
everything's you gotta.
The pilot doesn't. So on the crew monster on the crewman, the pilot doesn't pilot anything.
What are you? I'm the co-pilot. Yeah, you don't want to be a co-pilot.
Like on Apollo 11, right? Like Buzz Aldrin was listed as the lunar module pilot. He didn't steer the lunar module. Neil Armstrong did.
By the way, PAX East,
which just finished,
which thank God is moving back to April, May, because I couldn't do it. I mean, there was no way we could have. It was such a bad time. Why would they have it at the end of March? That was a terrible.
I mean, what difference does it make when it is? I mean, from their perspective,
big time, because
Maybe they did it for spring break.
No, they did it because I guarantee what happened is someone screwed up and they didn't rent the hall in time.
Oh.
It always turns into that. It's always like, oops, because it's like they used to run back in the day. They would run like the before Comic-Con and everything was really big. They would run conventions, and they ran the first Comic-Cons at New York Comic-Con. And the only time they ran it was during Passover. Okay. And good move, guys, because I'm like, okay, you run it during Passover in New York, where everyone in the comic industry is Jewish. No one showed up, at least no one in the industry, because that was the worst time. That's like running it during Christmas. So, and because of course, no one wants the convention during a major holiday. It's like having it's like trying to rent out during Christmas. And sure enough, that's what happened. And they ran it for many years during.
Wouldn't that mean it was also during Easter?
Yes, it was during Passover and Easter. So it was like the worst time to have it.
That just doesn't sound like a good idea.
No, it wasn't. But they got it because that was the only thing left. Because you have to sign these convention halls like 5 years in advance. So that's what happened. Eventually, it took like 5 years. Then they moved it to October. So,
I want to do some word nerding with someone in chat who said, interesting how you say aberrant. So Merriam-Webster says aberrant is the first pronunciation, but you're probably thinking of aberrant, which is listed as a second pronunciation. So either of them is fine, but the one that I say is apparently slightly more common.
Aberrant. It's like
labyrinth. They're both great.
We both won, and so did you.
They're both great, and I like both pronunciations. But it's a real thing. It's not a Marcus pronouncing this word because he read it in D&D and never heard it out loud, which, to be fair, can happen. I can't tell you how many people I know who did not know how to pronounce the word draft when it was DRAUGHT, and they just seen it in fantasy novels and thought that it was pronounced some other way.
Draft?
Like draught?
Yes, like draught.
Okay.
Or drought is one that I heard from my little brother was trying to explain something, and he said drought, and I was like, your sentences aren't making any sense. Why is this a drought?
Do you say aluminum or do you say aluminium?
Aluminium. Is this fun to say?
It's fun to say.
British.
It is more fun to say aluminium.
It's not the correct U.S. way to say it, but I enjoy saying it because it's fun and it also has the eum, like a lot of the other elements, so it just kind of feels nicer.
Aluminium sounds like a superhero.
Aluminum just kind of sounds. I don't know. It just sounds a little more
brutal.
like. Yeah, harsh and brutal, whereas aluminium just sounds a little more like this is an interesting metal that we're gonna make something out of.
Sounds like a fairy would make it.
Well, the other thing is too is like if you go down the period in the periodic table, it's like, underneath aluminum is gallium.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It
and then underneath it is like you have like indium,
they all have
and you have
the
like tantalum, and then like we call it all that stuff. We don't call it whatever. No, it's all aluminium. It's pronounced the same way as everything else.
That's one of the British pronunciations that I just like to do sometimes.
Yeah, me too.
Fun.
I do it too. Mostly because I remember watching this like British like video in like high school chemistry, and this guy was like, "We will see how the aluminium reacts," and I was like, "Oh, that's so fun to say."
There was a Chicago Comic Con. There's so many There's too much. There was last week was Chicago Comic Con, which was also gigantic. There's too many conventions. I used to love going to conventions when they were like a special thing.
Right.
Now people are asking drow or dro.
It's drow.
And
I've never heard it dro. Ever.
I have generally always heard it as drow, but I remember that there was a time that Dragon Magazine was being flippant about things. There was also flind or flind for like the big gnolls. Giant gnolls.
Yeah.
And so they flippantly answered a person who was like, please fix this for my group. How do you pronounce? I pronounce them flind and drow. So how do you pronounce flind and drow? And they said, okay, well, the first one rhymes with WIND, and the second one rhymes with BOW.
Right, could be bow or bow.
Yes, It could be bow or bow, and it could be wind or wind. Yes. So they were just being a troll, and that was the official answer that they printed in Dragon Magazine to that question, and it was an epic troll to the person who was asking that.
There you go.
It's also, I believe the correct pronunciation is also tiefling.
I also believe it's tiefling, not like tiefling or something like that.
Tiefling. They're all wrong. I've never heard it another way.
I've heard it.
No, it's very in amongst some of like the people who just started playing D&D in the last 5 years or whatever. There's people who will call it tiefling.
I've heard it pronounced tiefling in like official Dungeons and Dragons games with voice actors. But then again, I heard it pronounced Sigil, the City of Doors with the hard G. There you go. So
yeah,
we don't have to worry about that one ever again. So.
To be clear, my choice of calling it sigil has everything to do with the fact that sigil sounds cool and sigil sounds stupid. So
Sigil
it has
sounds
nothing.
terrible.
Yeah, sigil.
I like the pronunciation sigil better, but
Yeah.
I just heard it sigil a lot of times in Blitzkrieg Torment.
See, there you go. Sketchosaurus says, I've been yelled at a few times for not saying tiefling.
Wow.
And Garblag Games of Heroic Deeds fame says hard G sigil sounds silly. I agree. Sigil just sounds like, oh, we're going for a sigil wiggle.
It sounds like a giggle.
Yeah.
Also.
Sigil, on the other hand, sounds awesome.
Sigil sounds kind of mystical because of the J sound. I don't know why.
Yeah, I don't know why either.
All right,
Words
here's
are
the one
weird.
that is totally 50-50. Is it a GIF or a GIF?
GIF.
Okay, so the person who created the file type says that it's a GIF, but I usually say GIF anyway, and I feel bad about it because I know it's technically wrong, but that's just how I do.
I call it a GIF because it stands for graphical interchange format, and so the hard G of graphical is, G. So
that is exactly why I do it anyway, even though I know it's wrong, Derek.
Right.
Because that's just what makes sense to me, and my brain can't process that the creator wanted it to be GIF.
Well,
Correct.
I can't call it GIF because that's peanut butter. And
Yes, that's the other side of it. It's a peanut butter brand.
And that's literally pronounced.
Well, no,
with
the
J.
real
Derek and Steven are the two voices in my head telling me to do it wrong for this exact same reasons.
Yes. And then the question is, why are you using GIF? Why aren't you using like PNG or better yet, Web?
I'm using WebP. That's how I use
WebP,
WebP. Well, believe it or not, Photoshop does not natively export.
It does
to
not
WebP.
support WebP.
It
does
so
not.
fucking
It's
annoying.
so fucking dumb.
It's so dumb. It's so
It's
yes,
so
I
dumb.
have to.
I don't know
I have
how.
to
I don't
export
know
everything.
how. I do not know how. I'm paying like
I'm so curious.
$1,000 a year
I know.
for Photoshop,
I
and
know.
it can't just output.
I guarantee it's like they have to like pay a license or something. That's
something. It has to be
doing
something.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just have like a converter that
I have a
just run on,
converter
but-
too, so I have to literally export everything as a PNG and then convert it every time.
It's so stupid. It's so stupid.
It's so goddamn annoying.
It's so stupid.
It's so stupid.
Um,
We're just gonna go on and on. So stupid. So stupid. So stupid. So stupid. So stupid.
Yeah. Listen, I get it. Everyone who uses Photoshop is an idiot. You should be using,
Oh, but so Photoshop is so
you should
good.
be using GIMP, or you should be using
I'm so fast at Photoshop.
Alternative.
though.
What's it called? Audacity. What's it called?
Whatever. I'm so good at Photoshop.
I know.
It's like I
Wait, why
crank
do
through it.
people in Vampire the Masquerade pronounce Bruja as Bruja? That
I've
doesn't make
never
any
heard
sense.
that.
It's like
Because it's got a
literally
J.
a
I've
Spanish.
never
It's
heard
literally a Spanish word.
that. Bruja.
Affinity. Thank you, Cranky Smurf. Affinity.
It
Yeah.
is Bruja.
What is
Never
all
heard
the Bruja?
What's all the Bruja? Yeah, that's okay.
Well, what about
Yeah,
Venture? Is it
it's a-
Venture or how do you pronounce those guys?
Ventru?
Ventru?
Ventru.
Ventru.
But do you think some people pronounce it Ventrue?
Ventru, Nosferatu.
With the E, pronouncing the E separately as a separate syllable? Nosferatu, I think, is pretty
Nosferatu.
clear cut.
That's how I pronounce it.
Gangrel.
I'm a Nosferatu.
Toreador, that's also the
Toreador.
That's another Spanish word.
That's that's easy.
Or Italian word or whatever. I'm trying to think of other ones that I don't even know. Bruja. Malkavians.
Malkavian. Well, that I've heard pronounced Okay, so I have listened to official vampire books on tape and stuff, and they do not pronounce it Malkavian. They actually pronounce it like Malkavian or something completely different.
What about the video games that have voice acting?
That's I think Malkavian.
Well,
Oh wait,
Boyko,
wait. What
White
about
Wolf had an
Dune?
official pronunciation guide. So
What
we could
about
probably-
Dune? They pronounce
Harkonnen.
Harkonnen
So
versus
the thing is-
Harkonnen.
Right. So here's the clear. So Frank Herbert in the book has a pronunciation guide, and it's clearly pronounced Harkonnen. I'm sorry, Harkonnen. Harkonnen. It's pronounced
See,
Harkonnen.
even you did it wrong.
No. David Lynch called it Harkonnen,
Yes.
and I prefer it.
I prefer Harkonnen because it's a hard
Harkonnen
K.
as well.
It
Even
sounds
it is
cool.
wrong. It is wrong.
It is wrong. It's like Harkonnen sounds blah. Harkonnen. That's like yes, Conan. It's like Harkonnen.
It sounds harsh and brutal.
Harkonnen the
Well, they are. They're
Sumerian.
brutal. It should sound it should sound exactly what it is. It's a
Well,
way
also too,
better
there's also something
pronunciation.
stylistically about it. Like for example, in the Denis Villeneuve, they're like pale skin, black eyes, hairless, and then in David Lynch's version, they're all like
Fat
weird and
gross
twisted.
and
Whereas
nasty.
in the book, they're actually all like gingers. They're all like skinny, freckled, red-haired people.
Oh, really?
So, like,
I didn't even know that. I know they did look weird.
I
That
mean,
was
like
one thing.
the Baron is fat.
Yes.
And so he uses suspensor lifts to keep him afloat, but he's not covered in like pustules and all this other gross stuff that they were in the David Lynch version.
Oh wait, some
Rising
people...
Star says that people are pronouncing Alucard as Alisar.
Alistar?
No, Alisar with a
Alisar.
the C
No, it's
being the S sound.
Al
Yeah, no,
dash
the
A
person
dash
who,
car.
The person who did the
Car.
chat knows that because they said that they just hear people doing it instead of Alucard. That indicates they know that it's the K sound.
Garblag is talking about Atreides versus Atreides. Atreides versus Atreides, right? Is it 2 syllables or 3? But the other one is like, is it Leto or Leto? Or, is it Leto or Leto?
That I don't know. I don't know if it's Leto
I don't know which one I prefer.
I think that it would be Atreides because it's from the Greek ending for like Hesperides or any of those that are usually like for like the daughters of X. The daughters of Hesperus are the Hesperides.
Right. And in the book, the Atreides reach their lineage goes back to ancient Greek.
And they're probably supposed to be descended from the house of Atreus, who were the Atreides from Agamemnon and that whole situation.
They are.
Wow. Is this welcome to World? I know. I was like, welcome to World for Combat, where we're going into the lineage of made-up words.
Listen, this is why I gatekeep, okay? Because in order to fuck with me, you need to be proficient about many levels of nerddom.
As so do we pass the
Mark. I take lessons from Mark. What are you talking about?
Yeah. He's like, wow, Mark gatekeeps me. That's how good Mark is.
No, because I don't gatekeep people, but I could still teach Derik about certain nerd things. And Derik, I take lessons from you about Lord of the Rings.
I was about to say Lord of the Rings.
So that's what I was going to say earlier.
Now I'm talking about mispronunciations. Oh my God.
To be very clear, okay, the firstborn children of Eru Luvatar, the elves, they are bound. Their Feia, right, which is their soul, is bound eternally to Arda, which is the world. Which means, Stephen, that when an elf is killed, now they don't die from disease or from longevity, but if an elf is killed, say by an orc, they do not depart the circles of the world. Instead, their spirit, their Feia, is summoned to the halls of Mandos, where they essentially are reborn and then re-embodied eventually with
then why are they so upset in the movies when everyone's dead?
That's bullshit.
Oh, got it. Okay. That explains so much more. Okay. I did not know that. I did not know that. I thought that when they died, they literally died, but no, if they really are immortal. I never understood that.
I mean, to be clear, in most cases, your mortal life is sort of over. For all intents and purposes, because if you were in Middle Earth, the halls of Mandos are in Amon, which is in the Blessed Realm, right? Of Valinor. So you're not probably coming back. Now there are people, which he wasn't in the book, he was in the movie, but like Glorfindel, who is like Elrond's champion, he dies fighting a Balrog, and then he is reincarnated in the halls of Mandos. He's given a body again and then sent back. So, elves cannot literally die. So even when you see elves dying, their spirit
why are they
does not
fading
depart.
To the west?
Well, that has to do more with the fact that the Valar basically told them that Middle Earth isn't for you. It is not in the plans of the creator deity.
For the men. It's for the men. You're right.
Yes,
and then
correct.
you have to go to your own.
And you have to go.
Yes.
Yeah, that's basically what it comes down.
Go to your room, guys.
Yeah, go to your room. The world is not meant for you. I mean, there's obviously, Catholic.
Honestly,
right.
Tolkien Elf is probably a immortal path that from Battlezoo Immortals, and the transcendences you go off to the west. You don't die. You just realize that Middle Earth is no longer for you.
So elves don't reproduce.
No, they
elves do reproduce.
They
and
do
in fact,
reproduce.
that was the whole thing. Why?
Wait, if they can reproduce, are their kids no longer the firstborn children of what's his
name? No, they're still considered the firstborn children. Yeah, because
they're the children of that other elf.
Yeah, otherwise the only elves that
doesn't
were
that mean that elves are a
scourge
upon existence that can only ever increase until eventually they doom the universe?
No, because they have very low, They have
it doesn't matter how low it is. Over the course of
drive.
eternity, that's eventually going
They
to
have a
fill
low
up.
sex drive, so they have sex like once every 100 years.
Yeah, they don't have a lot of kids. They don't. But in theory, yes.
After like a billion years, that means that if they had a kid only every 100 years.
Well, there you go.
Well, no, but people would start dying.
They have like
naturally.
10 million. No, but they can't die. They go back to the halls of mandibles
not always,
or
no,
whatever.
So in one part of the world, yes, it's like rats. It's like a scourge of elves. But in the main part where the men are, it's all balanced.
Yeah, that's
out.
right. Off in the west, it's just like completely
oh god,
packed,
it's horrible.
and they're
there.
living like 100 elves in a small apartment.
Exactly.
And while we're there, so in Tolkien's Legendarium, okay, half elves are very, very rare, and so Elrond being a half elf is actually a big deal. Elrond had a brother, Elros, and they were born from an elf and from a man and an elf, and because it wasn't clear which they should choose, they got to pick. Which is, do they want to be counted amongst the firstborn children or the secondborn children? So even though Elrond is half elven, he chose to be an elf. And because Arwen, his daughter, is descendant from that line, she gets to make that choice too. So the choice that Arwen makes is not something that every elf gets to make. Not every elf can be like, I choose immortal life. That is not an elven thing. That is strictly to the descendants of Beren and Luthien.
So what you're saying is that the rules in Pathfinder for if you want to have a character who's from like a whole bunch of ancestries, but you kind of pick one for your rules, is backed up by Tolkien.
Yes, yes.
And Elrond chose elf. For his rules. For rules purposes,
and even though
it counts as for the purposes of rules text.
To be clear, even though there's many generations involved, Elrond chose elf, his brother Elros chose human, and his brother became the first king of Numenor. So Aragorn is descended through about 37 or 48 generations from Elrond's brother.
So does that mean Aragorn could choose elf?
So could Aragorn choose elf? No, because Aragorn's parents I don't think I don't know how long the choice
Yeah, because you're saying it just keeps going. But
yeah, it should actually. Maybe probably not. But
there's a use by date.
Yeah. So there's a use by date. Right. It passes after the
eventually after 5 or after example, 9, the number of rings that were for mortal men, then
so I do think, for example, Arwen and Aragorn's child is not counted amongst the half elven, so he's mortal for all intents.
Oh, so you can only count like
maybe it's like the initial descendants. I don't know.
Or maybe once someone chooses man, then the next one can't choose.
Yeah, maybe it locks in your choice.
But maybe if Arwen had chosen elf, then it would have been okay.
Yeah, maybe it's possible. It's possible
because Elrond chose elf and it worked for Arwen.
This is the most roll for combat.
Yeah, we're trying to rules analyze the rules of Tolkien's elven inheritance.
Yes.
Oh my god.
From a logical perspective.
Right. It's just one of those things where it's like, half elf was added into, D&D, and then it was like just, when elves and humans had kids, and it was like, okay, but what about everybody else?
All right, this is what we need to do. We'll get I'm trying to think about everyone. Each of us has their specialty. So we have Derik, whose specialty is Lord of the Rings. I will get Jack Packard on. His specialty is Elden Ring and Dark Souls lore. He knows that stuff as well as.
Is that really more of his specialty than like the movies and the other things he does?
No, God, no. He knows that stuff inside out. Yeah, he's really good.
No, I know he already is an expert in other stuff. So if he's even more of an expert at that,
way
he
more.
Yeah, he must know every little tiny bit of cool tip and flavored text when you pick up some friggin' ring off the ground. And Jack Packer would be like,
thousands
that ring
of
you
hours
just picked off the ground that the game didn't tell you anything about was once in Anor Londo was used by a lord who chopped off the arm of his brother while they were fighting a dragon, and then it fell into a pit and was carried up by sludge monsters. And it just says this ring is shiny on the tip. How did you know that?
I'll take Tolkien lore over random video game that no one will remember.
It is pretty interesting, but I agree. No, my
Arwen's mom was an elf.
Blowing him away.
Arwen's mom was an elf. Arwen's mom was Celebrian, who was the daughter of Celeborn and Galadriel. So Galadriel.
Well, then in that case,
Arwen's
it's possible that if one of your parents has to be completely an elf.
Yeah, it's possible.
Not just someone who counts as an elf.
Yeah.
So, he is an expert on suburban Sasquatch. So I will
man.
I can be 80s movie lore,
There you
although I'm
go.
pretty good at most movie lore. And then Mark
How
is
excited is he
everything
for our
else.
Sasquatch ancestry then?
Mark is everything else. Mark knows all the other things. I'm also
Mark is everything else.
video game lore and movie lore, like my two strongest. All
right. Well, with that brilliant breakdown, I do have to go.
Go do some racquetball.
Go
Take
play
care,
racquetball.
everyone.
Tell us how it goes with the mallet.
Immortals. Please download it if you want to. It's free.
It's free.
And back our Kickstarter. It's not free.
It's not free, but it's
it
really
might as
good.
well be for the value that you're getting.
Yeah, it's free for the value. You get so much value.
Think about the fact that we made cute little creatures that then Derik Melinda is this excited about, and you know that you want Eldamon.
And he read.
You even screwed me. You got the freaking rainbow unicorn is like all up in my frame.
Yeah, it is. It is a rainbow unicorn. Oh, you just bet you headbutted it.
It's literally like sticking its horn into Derik.
Well, you got a snake. You got an electricity snake on the other side.
The electricity snake looks really rad. I like it a lot.
I got a new one up here. Whoops, up here. This one, that's the turtle. That's the mine turtle. That's new.
You know what?
Mine turtle.
I do like the mine turtle. It's based off of like some Vietnamese lore of like a golden turtle that's based off like I think the Yangtze soft shell turtle.
That's what it is, the soft shell. So you can, if you're really hungry, you can eat it. It serves both as an Eldamon and food.
Mark, yeah, can I kill my Eldamon and eat it?
So normally Eldamon cannot die because of the fact that they are like manifestations of the Eld. They can just be depowered. But in your game, you are incorporating them into your nanite body. So I think it could work for you.
You want to do an Eldamon wild feast?
Well, no, I just know how much Pathfinder 2 cares about its deep simulationist game components, and I didn't want to break the ration economy by killing my Eldamon for sustenance.
I mean, if you are playing, we put a lot of variants in there, and it's like if you want, you can do a Flintstones with Eldamon where they're just in the world and they are living creatures that can be killed, and they like make stoves out of squirrel ashes or whatever. If you're doing that, then you probably could eat them.
I would have it that they're infinite.
Maybe that's how you get elemental avatars in the world, is they ate too many Eldamon and now they have their powers.
That was like The Simpsons, where he can just keep eating pork and he would just eat the pig and it just regenerates. So it's the same thing. You can just keep eating the Eldamon and then they just come right back like it's nothing.
Garblag Games likes Chrysomelos, the golden fleece sheep.
Yes. Exactly. So,
alrighty, folks.
What a weird.
Remember, if you want to battle the zoo,
session that was.
You have to roll for combat. Take care, everyone. Happy April Fool's Day.
That was a weird one.
Eldamon, the hit D&D and Pathfinder supplement that brings Pokemon-style gameplay to your tabletop games, is finally getting a massive update. Roll for Combat, the company that brought you Battlezoo Eldamon as well as countless other supplements for your tabletop role-playing games, has just announced Eldamon Legends, which is a fantastic Kickstarter that you can back now to bring all sorts of new Eldamon, elemental powers, and items to your worlds. If you're new here, Eldamon are elemental spirits that take on the form of creatures, which you and your party can make alliances and travel the world with. You can train them, evolve them into more powerful forms, and pit them in battles against other Eldamon. Or you yourself could become an elemental avatar and wield powers of darkness, or music, or fire. And the brand new Eldamon Legends Kickstarter brings you a bunch of new items that you and your party can equip, over 136 more Eldamon to populate your world with, and brand new legendary Eldamon to track down. Plus, the Kickstarter has all sorts of goodies available for its backers, including special dice, deluxe covers for the original Eldamon series, and more. So be sure to check out the Eldamon Legends Kickstarter today to begin harnessing the elements